I think we are live. Check. Can everybody hear me? Hopefully this thing is coming through. Let's see here. I hope this is working, man. I'm using something different again. So hopefully this one's working a little bit better than last time. Let's see. All right, cool. We're good. We're live. All right, man. What's going on? Happy Dynasty Deep Dive release day. So let's go ahead and pause it really quick. So I am definitely like a little bit behind, but we are here. We paused it at 6 seconds. We're not gonna miss nothing. I'm gonna give people some time to come through, and then we about to hit this play button. HD, we good, bro. We good. We came just in time, man. Good morning, good afternoon. Some people, what is it, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7:57 a.m. Pacific. I just woke up. I'm never gonna lie to y'all. So we're getting through the grogginess together, but we're gonna get the deep dive done, and we have a lot of pages, 80 pages to read through. So it's gonna be a fun time. Zach, what's going on, man? All right, let's without further ado, guys, let's go ahead, because we're gonna watch this thing about twice. Let's jump straight into it. Let me know if y'all can hear it as well. Man, here we go, man. I'm so turned.
Hey everyone, Kirk Herbstreit here with EA Sports College Football 25, back for another deep dive. This time we're talking about everyone's favorite mode, Dynasty.
Let's go.
Online Dynasty in College Football 25 can accommodate up to 32 teams, and you can play with friends for up to 30 seasons. Today we'll take a closer look at the new 12-team college football playoff, recruiting, the transfer portal, and a ton of customization options to make your program unique. College football has seen seismic changes over the past few years. And in EA Sports College Football 25, you can experience this new landscape while building your program the way you want. The 2024 season marks the debut of the new 12-team college football playoff, and you can play it first in the game months before the real thing. You could be the first coach to lead your school through the new 12-team playoff and hoist the college football playoff trophy.
Oh, that looks dope.
Recruiting is the lifeblood of college football. And in a world of unlimited transfers, managing your dynasty roster has never been more important. Evaluate your needs and opportunities for talent upgrades at the start of each season. The best way to build a powerhouse is to recruit through the high school ranks. So let's fill up your recruiting board. Each year, over 3,500 high school recruits are generated from all over the country, with certain regions representing real-world hotspots for blue-chip talent, like South Florida and Metro Atlanta. Do research to find recruits that best fit your program and determine who you can realistically land. A recruit's interest in your school is decided by 14 different pitch grades, like proximity to home, playing time, and brand exposure. So you'll need to discover how your program's pitch grades align with your recruit's desires, in addition to scouting for talent. Some players have a deal breaker requirement, and if your program cannot provide, the recruit will lock you out.
I love deal breakers.
Deal breakers also drive a player's decision to enter the transfer portal. Monitor at-risk players and get one last chance to convince your favorites to stay. Track your recruits as they narrow down their top schools. Pitch a prospect to gain more interest, and then set up school visits when the timing is right. It's crucial to remain in their top 10, then 8, then 5, to finally be part of their top 3. As a recruit trims down to the top 8, you can attempt to increase your appeal. If your school doesn't have exactly what the prospect is looking for, you can try to sway their opinion in your favor. Plan visits that elevate a recruit's experience, like pairing a quarterback visit with a wide receiver visit at the same time. It's crucial to keep an eye on the transfer portal when it opens in the offseason to round out your roster with talent you couldn't land from recruiting. Add portal prospects to your board just like you would with recruiting, but expect quick decisions as transfers have a shorter timeline to land a new home. Conference realignment is a hot topic in college football. And with custom conferences in EA Sports College Football 25, Dynasty is yours to control. See what a 20-team super conference might look like, or revert to the traditional conference alignment. Shape the conference size and membership and set custom conference rules, set up divisions, and more. Once you've settled your conference options, it's time to select your team. Begin with a highly ranked team and dominate at the top with repeat recruiting and playoff success. Or build from the ground up with a smaller program and prove you have what it takes to go from an unknown to postseason favorite. I think I've seen a 1.5. You can't talk about your dynasty without talking about your starting job. Start as an offensive or defensive coordinator and climb the ranks to head coach, or take over a program as the head coach right away. Choose from one of the 3 base coaching types to start.
This is UI.
Your coach type will determine what coaching skill tree you start with. From there, the abilities you acquire as you progress will determine what kind of coach you develop into. Unlock additional skill trees with better abilities. Or if you build up multiple skill trees, you can unlock hybrid trees that leverage a more diverse skill set. The coaching carousel is an important part of every coach's journey.
We assume
whether you're the head man at your dream school or working your way up, the carousel is your way of fielding offers from other programs. Head coaches in Dynasty can actively manage their coordinator positions. So if one of your staff takes a job elsewhere, or you decide to cut ties for other reasons, you can use the carousel to replace them. Remember, even the greatest coaches need support, and every coach has a unique skill tree. It's important to think about how you want to build your staff, whether that's doubling down on your existing strengths to max out your benefits or seeking out balance for a well-rounded staff. Choose wisely. The decisions you make here will matter to your program's success and your coach's progression. The benefits of coach talents are stackable. So if your head coach and defensive coordinator have the same ability, the impact for that ability will be greater. That's it for today's deep dive into Dynasty mode in EA Sports College Football 25. To make a game day every day this season, pre-order the MVP bundle.
We're going to go back through this, but initial reactions. Very initial. I've seen a couple of things I definitely want to point out here. That's why I said we're going to go back through it, and then we'll head to the Dynasty deep dive on the website. But initial reaction, this is Dub chat. What we thinking about this? There was a lot of stuff, a lot of small stuff in there. I mean, I think it's a great start. Not gonna lie, what we've seen so far. Let's see. What's good, Kyle? I'm at work struggling. I get it, bro. Only 30-year Dynasty or otherwise W for sure. It's a dub. I agree with that. I love the UI. The UI looks chef's kiss, man. Chef's kiss. Hopefully I said it right. What's going on? Dub for sure. The menu's beautiful. Yeah, the UI looks legit. All right, let's go through this. I'm gonna pause this one quite a bit because I do have things I pointed out that I've seen, and hopefully we can see some extra stuff as we go, and then we'll hop into the actual deep dive because everything is going to be on this website to really answer the question. It'll look good, absolutely. 20-team conferences. I heard that. I think you're gonna have a lot of customization ability within your little world. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to it. Josh says it's a dub. Love they actually hire your own coordinator, and they can leave for the NFL. I definitely seen that as well. I'll pause that there, but I've seen the reasons as to why they're leaving. So let's go ahead hopefully this internet's gonna be kind to me. It might do this right now because the premiere is over. All right, let's go to the actual. Here we go. Now we got to pull up the actual
options to make your program unique.
Fine.
College football has.
I'm gonna pause it a lot
dive.
this time.
This time we're talking about everyone's favorite mode, Dynasty. Online Dynasty in college football 25
Did I miss that?
Up to 32 teams, and you can play with friends for up to 30 seasons.
Pay attention.
Today we'll take a closer look at the new 12-team college football playoff, recruiting, the transfer portal,
definitely saw
and a ton of customization options to make your program unique. College football has seen seismic changes over the past few years. And in EA Sports College Football 25, you can experience this new landscape while building your program the way you want. The 2024 season marks the debut of the new 12-team college football playoff, and you can play it.
So, I mean, this part right here is just the setup. We knew the 12-team playoff was probably going to be in the game. It's dope that it's there.
First in the game months before the real thing. You could be the.
This is what I did notice. Am I tripping again? This is a different score bug. Is this a playoff score bug or the natty score bug? This looks different than the original scoreboard. So I did notice that when I first seen it. I know, ESPN does that where you have the college football playoff scoreboard. So that's what it kind of looks like. I could be off, but I'm pretty sure that one's slightly different with like more of the gold accents than the ones in the regular game.
First coach to lead your school through the new 12-team playoff and hoist the college football playoff trophy.
Celebrations look dope as well. I don't see tattoos. We're going to keep it going, bro. I just don't see nothing.
Recruiting is the lifeblood of college football. And in a world of unlimited transfers, managing.
I think I missed that clip right there. But we've seen this yesterday.
Dynasty roster has never been more important. Evaluate your needs and
So team needs is back. That's never going to go nowhere. I do like that you have the actual roster. It's just quality of life. Because the old team needs page, you didn't have your actual roster. You have your actual depth chart and your roster right here. So that kind of helps when you're just going through, because you could probably just come to this screen. I would go to like my roster, go through, and then kind of go to the team needs after that. But it looks like it's all in one. You can just go to that page.
Opportunities for talent upgrades.
It simplifies things a little bit.
Season.
It even tells you the
best way to build a powerhouse is to recruit through the high school ranks. So let's fill up your recruiting board. Each year, over 35.
So one thing I noticed here, and I'm sure they're going to talk about it in the deep dive. Of course, you have your ranking. I mean, we did see that you weren't going to see, 40-yard dash times and stuff like that at the beginning. But you see the stage here. They talked about it a little bit later, like, once they're in the top 8, top 5, top 3, you're going to have to make sure you stay in that. So it's clear to where they are. And you see that open stage, and I'm guessing this is where they're fielding offers and initial interest. So you're going to probably need to hit these recruits up in this open stage and then try to stay there. Also, we know abilities have different tiers. It looks like pipelines have different tiers, right? Because you see the 3 for a gold, I guess, gold star pipeline, and then you have a purple pipeline for 5 players. So it looks like that is definitely staged as well. That's one thing I didn't notice. And then of course you have your schools that you can see here. LSU is he already committed LSU. I was about to say they are dominating this player, but that makes sense.
500 high school recruits are generated from all over the country, with certain regions representing real-world hotspots for blue-chip talent, like South Florida and Metro Atlanta. Do research to find recruits that best fit your program.
Or they're going to have those fast guys, bro. It is what it is.
Determine who you can realistically land.
This is what I wanted to see. When they get 100% scouted, I don't want these to be like 100% accurate. Am I wrong for that? Like, I want this to be like around an 81 speed. You know what I mean? I'm not a huge fan of knowing for a fact what he is beforehand. And I don't know what this means. Does this mean it's on the higher end? this bar being more towards the right, like that's 80-ish. I don't know. You hope you can edit the recruits. I don't think you can. I think they don't have that this year. But you do see the abilities for the players as well coming in, and they do have a dev trait. So this is probably going to answer the question if it's going to be XP driven. This is definitely here. So the dev trait, you could purchase the mind reader ability. So I guess you can see that early, but they have a dev trait there. I'm guessing this is, like I said, this is just scaled all the way at the end. Will be a 99. That's what I'm guessing here. I'm just not a huge fan of that. I'm not going to lie. Not a huge fan of it.
A recruit's interest in your school
that one was 100%.
Realistically land.
They get them to 100%. Oh, that's fine. Okay. So I don't see no overall. The overall isn't there, but you do see the physical and some core attributes. I feel like that's a solid middle ground. What do we think, Chad? That's a solid middle ground, right? You do get some attributes. You don't see the actual player overall here. And then you need the mind reader ability to get the dev trait. Yeah, you see the ability. You see everything once you're 100% scouted. Also, I don't know how long it takes to get this player 100% scouted. I'm okay with that, I guess. Like I said, it's a middle ground. I know some people do like finding the gems in the bus beforehand. I just didn't want, the overall to physically be there. But this, I feel like, is a solid middle ground. I'm with it. They only got one scholarship left, though. And also, we seen what was the picture of yesterday? I forgot what school it was. They had 600 hours. Penn State has 1,125 hours, and I seen Florida, I believe, had like 15 hours. I think the dev traits are like Madden. I think you're going to get super stuff. Well, I don't know if they'll be titled different, but you'll get, like your top, fast, normal. I don't think they'll have slow. I don't think they want to be that disrespectful. So I like that. In 14, I didn't even scout players because I like the surprise. I like that. I just didn't like, knowing. So we'll see.
A recruit's interest in your school is decided by 14 different pitch grades like proximity to home, playing time, and brand exposure. So you'll need to discover.
We've seen this yesterday. Brand exposure definitely is your NIL. We've seen nothing about money. So I'm thinking that is just the closest you're going to get. I think Road to Glory is where you're going to have perks for your My Play or your Road to Glory player. For your quote unquote NIL, but I don't think there's actual budgeting. We have 500,000, we have 5 million. I don't think we'll actually see that. This recruiting definitely does look a little bit more interesting, though. Make some calls to the players' family and close friends to learn more about what they value. So this is going to open up, right? This besides pitching a player. And I wonder if these change, because I see this says TV time here. I wonder if you get different ones every week, or you could pick
for how your program's pitch grades align with your recruits.
I'm sure all that'll be in the deep dive.
In addition to scouting for talent. Some players have a deal breaker requirement. And if you're
all right, deal breaker, I like that they're back. Playing time needs to be at least a B-. I mean, this is fine. Improviser, so you do get, like I said, the archetype of players. I don't really think there's nothing else crazy on this list. Like we said in the leak, you don't see 40-yard dash time and all that stuff on this list anymore. I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of that because I would do it too. I'm not judging nobody, but you would just sort by 40. And if I'm recruiting a lineman, I would sort by squat, and then I was good to go. I was good to go. So I do like that you kind of have to just put at least a little bit of work, or look at the archetype right here. I'm sure they'll have speed, stuff like that. Playmaker, I guess now, deep threat, something like that. And you can kind of know who's the fast guys, who's not. But I'm cool here. I don't think there's nothing else here on this page that we haven't seen before. Like I said, the pipeline.
Your program cannot provide, the recruit will lock you out. Deal breakers also drive a player's decision to enter the transfer portal. Monitor at-risk.
So you can monitor. It says weekly advanced summary. So are we getting this every week? just on your school. So you see the prestige. I did see a half of prestige earlier. I did see that. I think I talked about it, but I did see that. So you can see. So you get an idea. A player just not going to just randomly transfer. So you get an idea at how it's looking. I'm cool with that too. Like this punter look like he about to be gone because they don't got no brand exposure, which is essentially NIL. Like get y'all NIL. I mean, you're a punter though, bro. Like what? What NIL we looking for, big dog? But the D tackle want to win a chip, and he's like, "Nah, we not getting it here in Cincinnati." So this is gonna put some pressure on you. I like this. I like the little weekly advanced summary. That's the dub.
Players and get one last
I think you see
chance to convince your favorites to stay.
You convince them back. Did they show promises? Are promises back?
And get one last chance.
Let's see. So you get how likely you are to get them back.
Chance to convince.
Chance to persuade. Reason for leaving. Play style.
Your favorites to stay.
No, so there's no promises. I don't see promises.
They narrow down their top schools. Pitch a prospect to gain more interest, and then set up school visits when the timing is right. It's crucial to remain in their top 10, then 8, then 5 to 5.
So when they're moving up, I guess when they say you got to stay in there, when they get this cut off, I'm pretty sure you're going to be locked out. I'm not sure if you could unlock it. Remember 14, you could unlock players that locked you out. It doesn't seem like that this go around, which is having, I can't say top 5 and all of a sudden have 6 teams on there. So, yeah, you're going to want to stay ahead of that line.
Finally be part of their top 3. As a recruit trims down to the top 8, you can attempt to increase your appeal. If your school doesn't have exactly what the prospect is looking for, you can try to sway their opinion.
So I don't understand, what are we swaying? If successful, adds here the chosen ideal pitch as recruit's ideals pitch for your school only. Easier to sway, part of a pro's pitch matches the recruit's ideal pitch. So I guess it's going to find this top pitch, right? And it's going to heavy sway on that. But what's the difference between that and just hard selling? You know what I mean? Oh no, it's going to make him like something that you guys have. Is that how I'm reading as? Yeah, it'll make your chosen pitch as the recruit's ideal pitch. Okay, just for your school. So if I'm saying, hey, playing time, all of a sudden playing time is going to be one of the recruits' top pitches just for my school. Okay, that makes sense. I was like, what is the difference between that and hard selling? This is definitely a Hail Mary attempt to try to get them to see things, through your school's lens. I like that. I do like that. I like to send the house as well, which is 50.
Opinion in your favor. Plan visits that elevate a recruit's experience, like pairing a.
I see. You see this right here too. You give higher, I guess, motivation or I don't know what they call it in this game, influence by going into this game, it's a rivalry game, and then a bigger loss. That's a complimentary visit as well.
Quarterback visit with a wide receiver.
I wonder if team or players can only schedule 5 visits, like 14.
To keep an eye on the transfer portal when it opens in the offseason.
I would assume so.
To round out your roster with talent you couldn't land from recruiting. Add portal prospects to your board just like you would with recruiting, but expect quick decisions as transfers have a shorter time.
So with the transfer portal, it definitely shows like you have to you got to kind of already be on the list. Or, if you have a shorter time to sway them and things like that. I do like just added touch having the needs there just to remind you like, yo, we need this position.
Timeline to land a new home. Conference realignment is a hot topic in college football. And with custom conferences in EA Sports College Football 25, Dynasty is yours to control. See what a 20-team super conference.
I'm never going to not laugh at the Pac-2. I'm sorry. What happened, Pac-12? What happened, bro? As a West Coast kid growing up, like it has so many memories. And, I was a USC fan as a kid, before I went to Kentucky. So, like, what happened, bro? Pac-2, man, it's a shame, bro.
Conference might look like, or
you can
revert to the
them.
traditional conference alignment. Shape the conference size and membership and set custom conference rules.
So what we get here, division. So you can set different divisions in there. Number of conference games, where the championship games going to be played at. How they select. So I mean, it gives you a solid amount of. I feel like we have more than 14, but it gives us a solid amount of choices for those, especially those online dynasties, man. With 32 users, you want to get creative. I would feel like if you want more user games and tougher conferences, or spread them out,
set up divisions and
spread
more.
out the players.
Once you've settled your conference options, it's time to select your team.
Look at my Kentucky Wildcats, 3.5. So I did see it right, 3.5 stars. So it's only out of 5. It used to be out of 6. So it's out of 5, but they did implement half of a star prestige. So that's different. They got our pro style, they got our 3-4 in there. Defense 84. It got to be a little bit higher than that. I'm cool with the offense, but come on, EA. They just hating, bro.
Team. Begin with a highly ranked team and dominate at the top with repeat recruiting and playoff success. Or build from the ground up with a smaller program and prove you have what it takes to go from an unknown
1 stars, a
to
1.5.
postseason favorite.
I wonder if you could be a half. I haven't seen a half yet. A half will be crazy. Sonny Nortrup. You see air raid forward to alma mater pipeline. So do you choose a pipeline up front? Then what is this adaptive AI? I'm sure this is going to be in the deep dive. We're going to get to that. What is this adaptive AI right here? No huddle. That's fine. Aggressiveness, defense. I mean, everything else is normal. I think the only thing new is you choosing a pipeline. That's going to be wild. And then you having an adaptive AI, I guess, is how the AI is going to handle your games if you're playing. Maybe. I'm sure they're going to
talk about your dynasty without talking about your starting job. Start as an offensive or defensive coordinator and climb the ranks to head coach, or take over a program as the head coach right away. Choose from one of the 3 base coaching types.
It's kind of like Madden. Pick your 3 motivator. Get your players to play their best by boosting their ratings, composure. Nobody has it better than us. Recruiter, Jimmys and Joes, not X's and O's. You scout faster and recruit better than any other type of coach. I ain't gonna lie, this is what I'm gonna be. I ain't even read tactician. I already know I'm about to be a recruiter. Tactician, boost your players' ratings on game day. Scheme up the big plays and let the visor fly. So it seems like maybe the Madden, +3 or +1 to this type of deals.
To start. Your coach type will determine what coaching skill tree you start with. From there, the ability
tree. This is going to be big. So massive motivator here. Extra gear. QB gets boosted toughness, stamina. So you're going to have to use your coaching points, or your staff points, used to be called, to unlock these. It looks like you have to go in order, though. Tier 1, Tier 2. I mean, so starts the 4th quarter hot in close games. Man, that's crazy. All right, so at least hot and cold is in the game, so we know they're getting the ratings boost. This is fire. This is definitely dope, bro. It's definitely dope. We gotta figure out how everything's working, but I like it.
Abilities you acquire,
and it seems like you got to choose these because this is just under this quarterback list right here. So you could go through position by position. So I did hear it's almost impossible to just max everything out, and unless you have this probably on very fast, it's going to be tough.
As you progress will determine what kind of coach.
Man, all this is going to be in the thing. We'll probably get to the deep dive.
Unlock additional skill trees with
I'm over here
abilities.
guessing, and I'm pretty sure they're
going to. If you build up multiple skill trees, you can unlock hybrid trees that leverage a more diverse skill set.
Makes this time go slower and slower.
The coaching.
I see the tweet that was like the next couple weeks is going to be longer than the 11 years it took. That's the most accurate statement ever. Now here we go. We're going to coaching carousel. New coach preference. So they have types of coaches you want. Okay. Or of this coach. No, this is just, I don't know. This is what it says the top candidates. So I guess what they're looking for. Top candidates. Okay. All right. I think I know. I think I know what they're doing.
Is an important part of every coach's journey. Whether you're the head man at your dream school or working your way up, the Carousel is your way of fielding offers from other programs. Head coaches in Dynasty can act.
So your coordinators have pipeline states. So that could be important when you're hiring your guys, right? If you want to be in a certain state, JMU, you're going to want, Virginia locked down, probably going to want Ohio. Florida's not that far, so maybe you try to get a coordinator from there. So, I mean, that's something to think about.
Actively manage their coordinator positions. So if one of your staff takes a job elsewhere, or you decide to cut ties for other reasons,
retired, went to the NFL. Those are like the 3 reasons why coordinators leave. How are you going to the NFL though with a D+ prestige? Oh, I mean, he's a level 25. He just don't have no prestige. It's a good coach with no prestige that is about to get fired. So he just dipped and was like, I'm going to the league. I ain't staying here to get fired. Yeah, I mean, you was 11-13, my guy. So yeah, I feel you.
You can use the carousel to replace them. Remember, even the greatest coaches need support, and every coach has a unique skill tree. It's important to think about how you want to build your staff, whether that's doubling down on your existing strengths to max out your benefits or seeking out balance for a well-rounded staff. Choose wisely. The decisions you make here will matter to your program's success.
Was that it? That's the grass thing. That's not a tattoo. I thought maybe I seen a tattoo. That's he just got messed up that game.
Your coach's progression. The benefits of coach talents are stackable. So if your head coach and defensive coordinator have the same ability, the impact for that ability will be greater. Well, that's it for today's deep dive into Dynasty mode in EA Sports College Football.
So that's it. We're about to go to the daunting task of reading these 80 pages of deep dive. Give me a sec while we get that thrown up here on the screen. Any comments I missed? This is dope. I'm definitely enjoying this. What's going on, Perry? So yeah, let's go ahead and bring up the deep dive. Because man, we have some stuff to go through here. There we go, campus. Let's zoom this in a little bit because I'm pretty sure. All right, here we go. Hopefully this is zoomed in enough so everybody can kind of see. All right, let's go through this. It's about to be long. But let's go ahead and take a preview. I mean, y'all can see this right here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is about to be a journey. This is about to be a journey, y'all. We about to get through this. They were not lying. Oh my gosh, they were not lying. This screenshot looks dope. They were not lying though. Okay, all right. Passionate team, man. Bunch of college football sickos like us. Yeah, we're reading. Yeah, we're reading today. All right. Hopefully that water can last us a little bit. We got a glimpse of a few team overalls. I need more gameplay. I mean, I think from what I heard, we was a Dynasty deep dive. Next, we're gonna get like just raw gameplay, I guess, in the video, right? It's just raw gameplay, and then I'm sure we'll probably get something else. So that's it. So what's good, D'Lo? Did we get what we wanted? I think so. It looks great. We're about to get into this 80 pages of reading, but I mean, I don't see how we couldn't. How long this article looks. So let's jump into it, shall we, man? Welcome back to Campus Huddle, your home for. I feel like we could skip this. It's so much, man. It's so much. We got to get straight to the nitty gritty of it. Building a dynasty. When we were in the early stages of designing Dynasty mode, we talked with the members of the community, college football experts, and coaches, read hundreds of blog posts and tweets, and watched countless of wish list videos. I'm glad they did. We knew how important Dynasty was to our community, and we heard loud and clear that our players want a deep experience that is representative of the current college football landscape, where roster management, talent acquisition are at the forefront of a successful program. What else do we have? With this in mind, We anchored our experience around 3 core pillars: build your coach, build your program, deliver the world of college football. All right, so build your coach. This encompasses the decisions you make on your coaching journey to keep the college football world, keep on top of the college football world, whether that's starting as a coordinator at a small school and making a name for yourself before getting the first head coaching job, or starting as a head coach at your dream school. Every decision you make on your journey matters. Build your program. As the old saying goes, to win college football is not the X's and O's, it's the Jimmys and Joes. I feel that. Recruiting is the lifeblood of college football, and having a constant winner means you need a roster that is built to reload rather than rebuild. That all starts from high school recruiting trail, but not modern college football roster and retention, and utilizes the transfer portal and are instrumental in your ability to field a championship dream or team. Deliver. First of all, I'm just going to tell y'all right up front, I'm going to butcher a lot of stuff. There's a lot of pages. So y'all gonna have to bear with me. This is Kentucky education. You know, I'm sure our academic prestige ain't that high in this game. It got to be like a C plus B minus, but you know, we're gonna keep it going. Deliver the world of college football. A lot has changed in college football over the last year, let alone the last 11. From the new 12-team college football playoff to conference realignment, we set out to recreate the ever-changing world of college football within Dynasty and provide you with the tools to customize your experience. Underlying our 3 core pillars in our senior model: satisfy the core community, because this is their game. Hey, listen. Their mottos have been fired. Every school, someone's favorite school, satisfy the core community. This is their game. Come on, bro. What? All right. What we get here is a nice screenshot of Dynasty mode, right? So you have your weekly to do. So you have your game, top stories, recruiting, CFB, coach, team, stats, records, Dynasty Central. I don't know what Dynasty Central. That might be like, you know, your top 25 Heisman runners, all that stuff there. So we'll see. They talking that good talk. I mean, I believe they'll walk the walk too. I mean, for how long this is about to be, I will hope so, or else it's about to be a crazy. At least they put in effort. All right, so we're back to build your coach. Your journey to the top of the college football world starts with your coach. We wanted this to be meaningful and allow you to experience the coaching journey that no other sport could provide. We met with college football coaches and experts and started breaking down real-life coaches on the whiteboard. What was their identity? What made them great? What was their journey to get to where they are today? So they definitely did their research. What we found was that both current and former coaches broadly fit into 3 main categories. Some are incredible recruiters, while others are motivators who maximize the potential of the players, and lastly, tacticians that out-scheme their opponents with the X's and O's on the field. There were also a number of coaches that were more of a hybrid between 2 categories. For example, there were coaches who were great at both recruiting X's and O's. After breaking down hundreds of coaches, 2 things were loud and clear. No coach was great at everything. That's facts. There's no single path to being a great coach. Here we go. Don't get baited, as he said. We about to find out. What about the greatest coaches of all time? Even they weren't great at everything. Needed their coordinators. Let's look back at 2013. Why I feel like Saban about to get astray. Alabama's offense had fallen behind. The world of college football was changing, and it was changing quickly. They had to pivot and change their entire philosophy. Bringing in an offensive guru who transformed the Alabama's offense to put the program on an entirely new trajectory. Playing in 6 of the next 8 national championships while creating multiple first-round draft pick quarterbacks. That was true because they had a more traditional pro-style offense that definitely switched to a more modern spread game as time went on. All of our research and discussion led us to build a coach experience centered around 3 goals. Just like the real world, no coach could be great at everything. A rock, paper, scissors relationship between coach types with no dominant progression path. So rock, paper, scissors mean one is better than the other one. This one's better than this one. Okay. And the coordinators on how you build your staff and how you build your staff matters. All right. Coach progression. Progressing your coach starts with playing games. As you play, you will complete coach goals that award XP. So just like Madden, XP is going to be everything, right? Once you earn enough XP, you will level up your coach. to maximize to a maximum of a level 50. All right, so level 50 is your max, and be rewarded coach points. Coach points can be used to upgrade your coach's abilities. More on that later. That's like staff points, I'm guessing, in Madden. I think we've seen that. They had, the gold C. That's what that is. There are 4 Coach XP gold categories that can be a single game, weekly, season, or career goals. All right, so they are they're doing a lot here. Let's see. Hold on. Just saw when you change conference, your jersey will change to reflect that new conference and game. Really? I know they did the field. If the uniforms change, I mean, it will make sense. That is dope too. That's absolutely cool. Here we go. So draft. Pro draft goals based on each round of your players drafted in. For example, players drafted in the first round. I guess that is a goal. Individual games that range from single play like interception, rushing touchdown, to full game results like beat your rival, beat a top 25 team, win a national championship. Recruiting, determined by your success on the recruiting trail. Recruiting goals can be specific to a single prospect. For example, sign a 5-star prospect, or a full season like sign the best recruiting class in the country. Stats, weekly goals like being ranked in the top 10. Season stat goals, for example, 4,000 team passing yards and rank top 5 in offensive yards, and career goals like win 5 national championships. That seems more long term, but you get different goals, kind of keep you motivated and try to get you XP. That's the name of the game here. The number of times you've completed a goal on and your progress towards goal completion can be viewed in the Coach XP goal screen, which can be assessed via Coach tab in Dynasty Hub. We have added 5 progression speed settings, so you can modify how fast. That's what I just said earlier. It's going to be a long while before you're perfectly, right? Or you can't be perfectly maxed out, but depending on how long you wanted to go, you probably have to go super fast if you wanted to go quick. So you see an example. They got 198 first day. I feel like that. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like that don't need to be tracked to that level, but I'm with it, I guess. Each time you complete a goal in game, you will receive a notification at the top left corner of the screen. The notification describes the completed goal and XP amount. So you see it right here. First down, you got 2. Passing touchdown, you got 20. I just don't feel like that needs to be every time. Oh, but we get Kentucky clip. All right, we got a Kentucky picture right here. Kroger Field looking good. Student section. Okay. All right. I mean, student section looks all right. I mean, we got, hey, I'm detailed looking, but we can't see just a corner. All right. I mean, it looks good there. Our unis always look fire. Oh, and we get, okay, all right. So if we finally get some love. After completing a game or advancing the week, you'll receive an XP summary screen showing your progressions to the next level. And I think it's the same weekly advanced summary. So you get your recruiting update, you have your coach XP, and then you get your school update. All right, so they're doing some stuff here. Coach Archetypes. In EA Sports College Football 25, we are introducing a new archetype-based coach ability system. You can think of it as similar to the traditional RPG classes, where all of your party members have a specific class archetype and role. Ultimately, in order for your team to be successful, all of the players in your party must do their job to work together. Our system is no different. All coaches will start with a base class or coach archetype, which could be thought of as your special ability in traditional RPG. Just like our real-life coaches, the base archetypes fall into 3 categories: recruiting, motivation, think player and development and program culture, and scheme, think X's and O's on the field. Man, seeing in Kentucky got excited. That's an understatement, man. That's an understatement. I haven't seen us all this whole run up, but now we here, and now I'm ready to read because we here. You know what I mean? From your base archetype, you can progress in multiple ways. You could become an expert in a single category like recruiting, where you could become an elite recruiter and excel on the recruiting trail. Alternatively, you could become a hybrid coach who was strong in multiple areas. For example, a talent developer who was great both in talent acquisition, recruiting, and player development motivation. The ultimate goal is to become a program builder or CEO on top of the college world. I'm not going to lie. What I found in almost any football, any video game, when you have options, if you try to be well-rounded, you suck, bro. That means you're not good at nothing. I go all in with one thing. You just think about it. That's how, I don't know. That's my mentality, bro. I ain't even gonna try to be well rounded. We're recruiting experts over here. That's all I know. Achieving an elite archetype like program building or CEO is the combination of on-field success and ability progression. There's no single formula to reach these statuses. You will be able to mix and match different ability combinations and progression paths, leading to strong customization. In total, there are 11 different archetypes, each with its own focuses and perks. Together, they form rock, paper, scissors relationship where there is no dominant archetype, while there is no doubt the talent acquisition is the most important thing in college football. Focusing solely on recruiting can leave you vulnerable to another area. They don't know me, bro. They don't know me. We don't care about some other areas, bro. Remember, no coach can be great at everything. Every decision you make on your coaching journey matters. Once you purchase an ability, there is no going back. You will not be able to respect your coach. That is important. That's important. You can't go back. All right, here we go. So we seen the motivator, recruiter, tactician. How do I upgrade my archetype? And what does it do? Each archetype has a set prerequisite and objectives that must be completed in order to purchase them. For example, in order to become an elite recruiter, you must spend 50 coach points in the recruiting archetype and sign 2 of the top 5 recruiting classes. That's fine. We're going to Mally. What's good, man? We are getting super close, bro. We're super close. Once these goals are complete, the archetype becomes available to purchase with coach points. When creating your coach, you will select which base archetype you want to start with. The other 2 base archetypes will then become available for purchase with your coach points without the need to meet any additional requirements. Let's go. Let's see. Ollie Gordon was arrested Sunday, suspicion of DUI. Bro, I was just talking about that. Quick side note. I'm one of those. I know this. Apparently, it was a debate when I said it in Discord. I think Ollie Gordon's the best running back in the country. So for him to get that DUI, it's going to cost him, I would assume, at least a game or 2. So his Heisman hopes is probably done. So we'll see. Let's see. Your archetype is automatically determined if you own the program builder or CEO archetypes. There will always be your active archetype, regardless of how many coach points you spent in other archetypes. If you don't own these archetypes, your active archetype in the archetype. Hold on, what? Your active archetype is, okay, let's say is the archetype you have spent the most coach points in. All old coach abilities are always on, regardless of which archetype is currently active. So that's probably just going to do more with the actual coaching carousel. Because I did see them looking for specific coaches for each school. Your progress can be viewed in the coachability screen, which is accessible from the coach tab of the Dynasty Hub. Within the screen, you can see all the available archetypes, their unlocked requirements and perks, and your overall progression in each archetype. As you spend coach points in each archetype, the spider graph in the center of the screen will morph and change to show your coach's DNA. So you get this nice little picture right here. I mean, solid. You kind of just see everything about your archetype right here grow together. Master motivator. That's cool. Take a shot every time you say archetype. I'm not, bro. I feel like listen, you don't want me to be here, Mally. How do abilities work? Because look right here. Once you own the archetype, you can purchase the abilities within it using coach points. In College Football 25, we're introducing more than 50 coaching abilities. Each ability can have up to 4 tiers, and every tier has a purchase cost associated with it. Every archetype, with the exception of the scheme guru, program builder, and CEO, has their abilities broken down by position group. This increase in level of depth and specialization each coach has. Okay. No longer can a coach be great at recruiting across the board. Now coaches will specialize in specific position groups. I feel like they're testing me because I'm about to be a recruiting guru and we're going to figure it out. We're going to be great across the board. I feel like that's the least they can do, but I'm going to suck at everything else. But all right, anyway, I digress. Making your staff composition that much more important. Are you a quarterback whisperer? Are you great in the trenches and committed to the no-fly zone? Our DBs will man up, bro. It is what it is. How does your staff complement you? All right. In addition to position-based boosts, There are also coach abilities where core gameplay affects so you could really cook. For example, the Scheme Guru archetype focuses on your gameplay style. If you are a coach who likes to play fast, you can upgrade fast tempo offense, providing you with the following boost. Battery pack, tier 1 offensive players fatigue slower and hurry up. Caught napping, increase the delay to defenders looking to the sideline of the snap. On their heels, tier 3, team composure boost for first downs gained while running hurry up. And then tier 4, tipped your hand, chance to see defensive coverage shells and hurry up. That all of that is cool. That's what my coordinator's for. I'm sorry, bro. But I ain't gonna lie, that does kind of make you want to do something like that. That's pretty good upgrades. You can also make your team a well-oiled machine who doesn't work against themselves and is unfazed by rowdy home crowds by upgrading discipline, communication ability on offense. This provides tier 1 hater blockers, slight reduction in crowd noise impact on the road. Teflon tier 2, significant reduction of crowd noise impact on the road. Polished tier 3, offensive players will commit slightly fewer penalties. And clean sheet offense tier 4, offensive players will commit significantly fewer penalties. I wonder then you could put your blocking on aggressive because you got the clean sheet. I mean, that's how I look at it. Of course, balance is critically important here. So there are defensive counters to all the offensive play style abilities. Is your defense looking a little sus? Are you tired of getting punched in the mouth by a physical ground and pound team? Upgrade your ground and pound defense to become a stout run defense and reduce the effects of physical offense continuously running the football. I like that as well. We can't create recruits. Yeah, EA is very safe with its recruiting. You can't export draft classes. Yeah, so I think they're very, very. They don't want you to recruit, Arch Manning, right? Because he didn't sign the right. So they ain't getting sued again. That should be the other motto from EA. They had all the other models that was cool. The other one was we ain't getting sued again, and they made sure they live and die by that motto. Which at the end of the day is a business I can't really blame them, bro. The program builder and CEO archetypes are different in that they are only available to head coaches. The abilities within them are diverse and range from roster management and program culture to home field advantage and recruiting pipeline boost. All right. I feel like we're not even close. Like every time I just see this little cursor, and I'm like, we're not even halfway. All right. But what about coordinators? Oh, let me look at this running game. Advanced no look running backs take less time to fully scout. Oh, this is in the scouting game. Okay. Most influential recruiting actions are giving bonuses to RBs. Always be recruiting. Increase weekly hours for running backs and magnetic personality. Increase starting interest from running backs. This is what I'm gonna have, bro. So all this other stuff sounds cool, bro. But we gonna have a magnetic personality. All right. What about coordinators? Both coordinators and head coaches have the same set of abilities and archetypes available to them, leading to a natural progression from coordinator to head coach and increased importance on staff management where your coordinators either complement your strengths to shore up your deficiencies. Remember, no coaches can be great at everything. So it's critical that your coordinators complement you. I get it, bro. They don't want me to be coordinating. I'm a recruiting guru and good on the X's and O's. I get it. All of the abilities your coaching staff owns stacked together, increasing the effect on an ability. So you could really double down on something. Abilities owned by the head coach have the greatest impact. The impact of the coordinator-owned abilities depends on whether or not the ability is related to their side of the ball. For example, a defensive coordinator having quarterback ice veins ability, which boosts your quarterback's composure at the beginning of the game, will have a much smaller effect than the offensive coordinator owning it. Your coordinators will automatically progress their archetypes and abilities. You will not be able to control which abilities they progress, nor will you be able to respect your coordinator's abilities. This adds to even more importance to how you progress your coach and manage your staff in the coaching carousel. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like that. I mean, each coordinator's own thing. They're trying to become a head coach at some point too. I'm not mad at that. You can view the abilities your coordinators own from within the coach ability screen by tapping left or right, left bumper, right bumper, L1, R1. Each coach will have unique spider graph based on the abilities and archetypes they own. Pressing R3 will overlay all 3 coaches' spider graphs so you can quickly see where your staff is deficient. All right. So we get a coach of Stanford, and you can kind of see, they're going more towards the master motivator. I don't know all the logos here, but you can see them heading in different directions. I guess that's cool. All right, we got to talk about the coaching carousel, I think. Climbing the coaching ladder. Your journey starts when you sign your first contract. When creating your dynasty, you will have the option to select whether you want to be a head coach, offensive coordinator, or defensive coordinator. Coordinators have performance expectations just like a head coach. All roles have full control of recruiting and be able to play both sides of the ball during gameplay. I kind of liked you just playing one side. Is it just me? I liked you're the offensive coordinator, you just playing offense. In the L, we can't create recruits as a big W. If we could create it, there'll be no game. So look at it as a big W. That's one way to look at it. Big Roll. I definitely agree with that. There, we have the game. Like I said, their motto: "Don't get sued." They had to make sure that we stayed intact, so we get this game out today, or else we'll have this game that we won't play until college football 36. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is, bro. Sign here, please. That makes no sense. That makes sense. Well, if we talk about what I just said, I think that makes sense. I don't know. Sign here, please. Every time you start a new coaching job, unless you're talking about playing both sides of the ball. I don't know. I love the stream delays. I don't know what that combo is for. Sign here, please. Every time you start a new coaching job, you'll be asked to sign a contract with that school. Obviously, the contract will have a set contract length and performance expectations. Just like in real life, failure to meet those expectations will result in bad things happening. You're getting fired. School expectations are determined by the school's current team's prestige and program standing. The better the school, the higher the expectations. There are 4 types of contract expectations: win a certain amount of games, win a conference championship, make a college football playoff, or win a national championship. Thankfully, we could just sim the other side of the ball. I hope that's true too. I mean, I don't know why I said that. I forget you can just super sim on the fly like it's nothing. Just play offense only. You might do it from the main screen like Madden. I wonder if they have play the moments. I wonder if that's going to come. Anyway, your job security will fluctuate throughout the season based on the results of your games and whether or not you are trending towards meeting your contract expectations. The further you are from meeting your expectations, the bigger your job security will be hit. If your job security gets too low, you will end up on the hot seat. And if your seat gets too hot, you'll be fired. And you'll have to look for a new job in the coaching carousel. Alternatively, meeting or exceeding your goals will result in increased job security. Of course, if you don't like the possibility of being fired, you can always turn this off in the Dynasty settings. Cool. Job security is a function of your ability to meet your contract expectations. Every win and every loss counts towards that expectation. With that being said, not all wins and losses are created equal. Beating a higher ranked team will have a larger impact than beating one with the generic FCS schools. No FCS teams confirmed again. Losing to a generic FCS team is not a good look. Lose to FCS, bro. Yeah, you might as well just walk. Just don't even go back to your office. Just walk on home, bro. All coaches have a coach prestige letter that ranges from A+ to F. So I feel like they didn't have F before. Wasn't it like just D wasn't it just a D? So they getting ruthless now. You got an F, bro. Coach prestige is reflective of your ability to meet contract expectations and adjusted for the school and role that you have. For example, meeting expectations and winning 5 games at a small school will have a significantly smaller impact than winning the SEC championship at a traditional powerhouse school. Okay, I mean, I get it. It makes sense. I had to think about what I thought about that for a second. At the end of your contract, schools will evaluate whether or not they want to extend your contract based on your performance. If you were offered an extension, you will be notified that the school has decided to extend your contract. They'll be automatically accepted. Don't worry. Automatic acceptance of the contract extension does not mean you are unable to change jobs. You can leave for a new job via the coaching carousel at any point in your contract. regardless of your current contract status. We auto-accept extensions to protect you from inadvertently changing jobs if you send past a contract extension offer without interacting with it. Your current coach contract and job security status can be assessed from the coach tab on the Dynasty Hub. Where viewing your contract, you can see your current and past season job security, contract expectation, and your school's season by season results for the last 20 years. I mean, that's pretty much the whole Dynasty, right? If you go 30, you might as well show the last 30 years. The season by season results show the team's record if they were a conference champion in any bowl game they won that season. When signing your contract, you'll have the opportunity to look at the last 20 years and see the kind of program that you are taking over. Of course, your program's history will continue to update over time as you play your Dynasty. All right. So yeah, then you get a view of kind of just the same. This is pretty much identical to how it used to be in the game before. You can see the previous years, but they do have 28. So before this college game came out, they do have them in there, and they have the bowl games there as well. And poor Oregon being the Pac-12 conference winners, because Pac-12 now being the Pac-2 is bad. What's the comment we have? Hopefully HBCUs will be created in Team Builder so they can be added to the Dynasty mode. That was one thing I wanted to know, and hopefully we touch on it because we still have a lot left of this. If you could add in Team Builders in online Dynasties that are like online with other people. I know it said not in public online Dynasties, but I want to know if I have a private one, me and my friends have a password, whatever you get in, can we use Team Builder teams? Hopefully that does get answered at some point in this long. Look, we're not even a quarter of the way. So, Coach Carousel, following the 2021-22 college football regular season, two high-profile schools in LSU and USC were looking for new coaches. Both schools did what nobody saw coming and hired elite coaches from other high-profile schools. Suddenly, other high-profile school jobs were unexpectedly available, and Coach Carousel was in full effect. In College Football 25, we set out to recreate the chaos that is college football coaching carousel, along with the domino effect it brings. Now, instead of it happening over a single week, coaching carousel takes place over the course of 5 weeks, from the conference championship week to the end of the bowl season. That is interesting because it all was done in one session. So from the end of the conference championship week, coaches get out of there. Just like the real world. Additionally, the carousel is now synchronous with experience where each user can evaluate their offers without the need to wait for someone else. That's going to be big for online Dynasty. Here we go. That way in your multi-user online Dynasty, the entire carousel experience won't be held up because you're sitting around waiting for your friend to get on and evaluate the job offer, only for them to tell you that they want to stay at your current job. We definitely have had that with me and my friends. How does the coaching carousel work? The carousel kicks off during conference championship week. During this week, all coaches' contracts are processed and the schools determine if they want to fire, extend, or let a coach's contract expire. If your school has decided to fire or extend you, you will receive an action item notifying you of the news. If you are the head coach, you'll be able to fire your coordinators during this week. Imagine firing your coordinator right before your bowl game. That would be that would be crazy. Once you advance the week and arrive in the bowl season, the first round of job offers go out. If you receive any job offers, you'll be notified via an action item view job offers. If you did not receive any offers, you will have a generic action titled Coaching Carousel. Pressing this action item will take you to the Coaching Carousel screen where you could view any job offers you have, as well as any of the open job offers around the country. I guess this is why it's multiple weeks, right? Because then say I take the job, I leave Texas to go to Ohio State. So then week 2, Texas should be available, right? So I guess that's where the multiple week thing come into play. Now, just because you didn't receive any offers in the first week of bowl season, or if you don't like any offers received, doesn't mean your carousel experience is over. Remember, the coaching carousel takes place over the course of multiple weeks. The first week of the bowl season is just the beginning. As schools hire and poach coaches from other schools, their previous jobs will become available as unexpected job openings, and the schools will look to hire a replacement the following week. When viewing a job offer, you will see the school's new coaching preferences, what happened to the previous coach, and who the top candidates are for the job. You will also see the contract they are offering you and what the contract expectations are. Once you accept an offer, you will stay with the current school until the national championship game. Okay, so you could take an offer and then finish out your season. Cool. Which is when all jobs changes are processed. Okay, so even if I fire my coordinator, he's gonna be with me for the bowl game. He's just out of there as soon as it's over. This allows you to take one last ride with your current team and coach any bowl games that they play in. There will be a countdown in the top right corner of Dynasty Hub informing you how many weeks you have remaining until your job change. That's cool. If you accept the head coach position, you will be able to manage your staff and hire coordinators at your new school during the rest of the coaching period, carousel period. So you can start hiring this stuff beforehand. It's the Saban fired Kiffin before a championship game. That's wild, bro. But hey, Saban could do Saban things, I guess. You know what I mean? It will be a countdown. Oh, yeah, I just read that. How do schools determine who they want to hire? Each school has a school persona, which determines what they're looking for the next coach. Schools will evaluate candidates across the following criteria. Level. The higher a coach's level, the more powerful they are with their abilities that they have. Schools are always looking for the highest caliber coach they can find. Scheme. Certain schools, like the military academies, want a coach who can run a specific style or offense or defense. So I guess you run you wishbone all day. That's all we running over here at Navy. Archetype. Schools have a preference of the type of coach they're looking for to hire. Just like the real world, blue bloods prefer elite coaches who are program builder or CEO. All right. Pipeline. All coaches have a primary pipeline, which provides a boost in recruiting. This is meant to simulate an area or country where you have strong ties and relationships in recruiting. Schools prefer coaches whose primary pipeline is the same of their school's recruiting pipeline. I feel like most people who are creating the coach are going to pick like Florida, Texas, California. It's like their main pipeline. I ain't going to hold you. I'm going to pick like Ohio or Virginia, like a school, like a state that's less known, but they still have pretty good talent. And I'm going to just make sure I get all the top players from there. So I guess I might be coaching at like Virginia Tech at this rate. You know what I mean? Coach prestige. A coach's prestige is compared against the school's team prestige. A 5-star program is now going to be going after a coach who is a mid and only a C- coach prestige. Cool. Remember, 5-star now is the top. They don't have 6-star programs. 5-star is the top. You're picking Kansas or Illinois, something like that, bro. Like, to me, it's cool to have the top state, but I'd rather dominate another state. Like, if the state ever get a top guy, he's coming to my school. You know what I mean? I don't know. This is also less competition, but together these form an overall school fit score, which is used to generate a list of candidates for the job. The school will then extend an offer to one of those coaches. All right. Almost a quarter of the way through. Game theory and domino effect. All right, what does this mean? It is important to keep in mind the domino effect when you are evaluating whether or not to accept an offer. Just because a job isn't open today doesn't mean it won't be available next week. You can view all of the current job openings by using the all openings filter in the Coach Carousel screen. Every open job will list the top candidates the school is targeting. Once the week is advanced, one of these 3 candidates will leave the current job. One of these candidates, one of these 3. So I guess only 3 candidates there. Oh, yeah, it is only 3 candidates. Okay. We'll leave the current job and accept the open job. This allows you to predict which jobs may become available next week, which makes sense. Like in this case, the top candidate is the Oregon State head coach. So if you had an eye for Oregon State, you could be like, look, I might wait for that Oregon State job to open up. You can also view all the coach movements across the college football world on the staff move screen. The staff's move screen can be accessed via staff moves action item in the Dynasty Hub. Staff moves show all the coaches who changed jobs, their former/new team, and the reason they are leaving. Let's see. How do you earn credits to upgrade your coach? I'll ban all microtransactions if I have to. You earn the coaching points by XP. So there's goals every game. There's game goals, play goals, and then season stat goals. So once you meet those goals, it was simple as like first down was like 2 XP. Once you get to certain XP, then you get points. It's from how I took that whole XP thing. Then you'll be able to get points once you get to a certain XP. So, or certain level, I guess. That's how I took that. But I'm sure they're going to break that down even further too with how thorough this is. We get 3 pictures here. We get the coaching carousel. So yeah, I mean, and then here's your staff move, so you can see everybody. So yeah, I thought I said Lincoln Riley. Lincoln went to NFL. All right, managing your staff. As a head coach, you will have the opportunity to manage your staff and to hire/fire your coordinators. Remember, our coach archetype system does not allow you to be great at everything. Make your own. Make who you surround yourself with that much more important. Staff management is your opportunity to build your staff the way you want in an effort to put yourself in the best position to succeed as a program. You're fired. Hopefully, none of us ever hear those. Okay, so no stacking up credits for $49.99. No, I haven't seen nothing that said microtransactions yet, so I think you're good. You're good on that front. There we go. Let's see. Managing your staff starts during conference championship week. During this week, you will be able to fire your coordinators. Be careful because this is the only week you could do this. Okay, so you can't fire them later. After this, you are unable to replace a coordinator unless they are hired away by another school. Your coordinators will not leave unless you fire them or they are hired by another school. Every coordinator has a standard 2-year contract. Once the contract expires, it will be automatically renewed for another 2 years. Of course, if you don't like them, you can always tell them that they're fired. I feel like that's harsh. You usually be like, hey, contract's up, bro. If your coordinators have 1 year or less remaining on the contract, there is a chance they will be poached and leave for another school. If this happens during the carousel, you have the opportunity to hire a replacement. Welcome to the team. Starting bowl week 1, you can hire new coordinators if you have the open position. When you go into the new coordinator, you will be presented with a curated list of candidates. These coaches are chosen for you based on your team, the needs of your school. The logic that is used to determine the list is similar to the AI school logic to determine their top candidates. So you get presented your top candidates, and then you choose from there, or you could go through the entire list yourself. When looking at a candidate, you will be able to see their current school, active archetype, coach level, and what schools are interested in them. There are schools you will be competing with if you made them a job offer. That was my next question, if they just automatically accept, but that's no. No. You can also view the coach's talent tree, so you could drill down more deeply to see whether or not they'll be fit with your school. When you make an offer to a coach, it is not guaranteed they'd accept it. I love that. You could only offer one coach per position each week that you have offered them. They will appear in your staff management screen with an offer tag. When you advance the week and re-enter the screen, you will find out whether or not they accepted your offer. If they did, they will join your program after the national championship game when we process all coach moves. If they reject your offer, you have another opportunity to offer another coach. You will always have at least one coach available to hire who does not require you to compete with another school. If at the end of the carousel you have not filled an open position, you will automatically be given a new coordinator that is on par with the caliber of your program. Okay, so you still get a solid coordinator. I thought they were going to give you somebody just trash. That's fine. That's fine. Staff management, and then this is how it looks. So you have the open screen, hire staff. All right, that makes sense. Let's see. What's the comment here? Happy we get to pick our own coordinators. Used to make me mad for a team when high level coordinator left, and I got a low level in return. Absolutely. And you just didn't know what they were good at, but it makes sense. You want to build a good staff around what you're either trying to be super good at or a member that could, help out whatever you're not good at. So, because they do stack. So you could be just super great in one area. Building your program. There is no question in today's world, roster management and talent acquisition are at the forefront of college football and building your program. Players can now transfer whenever they want and have expectations for you and your program. Some are looking to play early. Others want to win championships and play in big games. And stars want to grow their brand beyond the field. Aligning with you and your program, you could do for them has been what you do for them has never been more important. I wish we could hire trainers, scouts, strength coordinators, etc. That would be dope. But yeah, not now. But I'm sure maybe eventually. We begin our design process by talking with the current and former coaches, players, and recruiting experts. What is recruiting and roster management like in the current area? How have player motivations changed? What causes the player to transfer? What differentiates a big program from a smaller school when it comes to how they operate on the recruiting trail? At the same time, we spent a ton of time doing quantitative research. We wanted to know everything and anything and everything about recruiting and program management. This ranged from how many 5, 4, and 3-star prospects that were generated every year, and what makes a California quarterback different from a Florida quarterback. We focus heavily on different geographic regions and what they are known for, as well as researching and recruiting journeys of hundreds of prospects. Why did they ultimately sign with the school they did? What do the schools in the top 5, top 3 have in common with each other? Why did they visit some schools but not other schools? What role do they have in the head coach and coordinator display in the recruiting process? I want to say that is 100% true. I like that they had that in there because every state for the most part has like their football culture, quote unquote. You know what I mean? They all had different play styles. Florida from just being, fast for the most part. Me, myself, I grew up in California. I had one style. Then I moved to Virginia in high school, and I'm used to throwing the ball spread out game. And we go to Virginia, you playing in the mud. They don't believe in turf over there when I was in high school. And all of a sudden, it was a more grinded out type of play style, right? So I do like that they took the time to kind of figure that out and just how each state kind of has their culture and what they're good at. Texas has pre-college because they're playing in 50,000 seat stands in high school, which is crazy. Lastly, we spent time talking with our community on what they expected from recruiting and program management. Players like the recruiting in older games because it had depth, but it was also tedious at times. On the contrary, the latest iteration was fast, but it also was shallow and cold. You never actually felt like you were establishing a relationship with the prospect. I've been on that. I did not like 14 recruiting. We wanted to find a way to blend the two so recruiting felt meaningful and allows you to build a connection with recruits through discovery while also being conscious of your time each week. Ultimately, we landed on 4 core goals when building your program. Humanize recruits by giving them unique needs and motivations that players have to discover by interacting with the recruit. Differentiate regions of the country by player caliber, the country by player caliber, quality, and types to authentically capture high school talent based on historical real-world data. Represent the different resources available to schools, ensuring that top schools can blanket the country while smaller schools will need to be more targeted with their approach, and then make transfer portal feel authentically unpredictable. Sounds like 4 solid core goals right there. Welcome to stage recruiting. In College Football 25, we are introducing new stage recruiting experience built around the 3 distinctive phases: discovery, pitch, and close. Just like real world, every recruit will be in different stages of their process. Where they are in their process will dictate how you interact with them and the level of engagement they require. Recruiting begins with discovery. In this initial stage, you are finding out which prospects to target and what their skills are and what they care about the most. This stage is all about uncovering information about the recruit as quickly as possible. The sooner you can discover how well they align with your program, the better, as time is of the essence. Once a recruit announces the top 5 schools, it's time to pitch. During the pitch phase, you are selling the recruit on your program and what you have to offer. How well your school aligns with their motivations will determine how successful you are. The final stage is close. This is where you bring your recruit in for the official visit and attempt to leave a lasting impression about your program. If the visit goes well, you'll make huge gains with the recruit and possibly secure a verbal commitment following the visit. Ultimately, the recruit can make the final decision on National Signing Day. Before we dive deeper in each phase, let's start by discussing how every program recruit is different. Can you decommit? That's all this tells me. The recruit will make their final decision on National Signing Day. Can I swoop in? Is all I want to know. That's all I ask. Because if so, I am talking trash to all my friends. I may purposely go after a verbal commit that one of my friends have, just so I could steal them on signing day. Don't get me too excited, but I did get excited by that. We'll deep down more. We'll see what happens. This is going to be the best recruiting experience. I like how players have deal breakers and lock teams out. Yeah, they had it in 14, but this seems like it's a better way of doing it. All right, here we go. My school. When we talk about being 134 ways to play, we're talking about more than just on the field gameplay. Every school is rated from D- to A+, so they didn't get Fs, so that's fine. If my recruit flops last minute, my controller is in the wall. Hey, bro, it's gonna be me. I'm trying to steal everybody's recruits, bro. But yeah, I feel you. I'll be mad too. Let's see. Let's confirm before I get too giddy about that. Every grade is from D- to A+. I was hoping the F will stand. I ain't gonna lie. Across 14 different categories, which comprised of their my school grades. These grades define who a program is and what their strengths and weaknesses are. No two programs are the same, and grades will dynamically change over the course of your dynasty based on your school performance and the actions. The 14 grades as follows. All right, so you have playing time. This represents how long it will take for a player to become a starter at the position. Playing time is individualized to each recruit and is based on the player group and overall. Playing style. This is a representation of how you play. Every player archetype has a stat that is tracked over the course of the season. How high that stat is relative to other teams determine your grade. For example, field general quarterbacks playing style grade is driven by passing yards per game. NCAA revamped team really saved the EA college football game for us. Absolutely. Championship contender. All these are the same that how they used to be so far. Championship contender. This measures how close a team is to winning a championship. It takes into account the team's current ranking and roster composition. Program tradition. This is a holistic view of the program's history and success over time, based on the number of conference and national championships, total wins, and awards won. Campus lifestyle. This is a representation of the city and the area surrounding the campus, as well as the campus itself. This grade cannot be changed or impact. I felt like didn't winning also used to impact campus lifestyle, or was it just facilities? I don't know. But yeah, you stuck with it. Campus lifestyle, it is what it is, bro. So maybe you guys, take that in consideration when choosing your team. Stadium atmosphere. This is driven by the stadium's toughest place to play ranking, which is determined by the team's historical performance in home games. So that could definitely be changed. Pro potential. This is a projection of how likely it is that players on the current roster will play on Sundays. Brand exposure. This is NIL, right? This grades the team's overall brand recognition, the potential NIL opportunities a player could get at the school, and how often the school plays in primetime games. Wasn't there a pitch before that was like how well you played in like primetime games? I'm all. I felt like there was. I feel like this is what this is though. Are you going to be a head coach first, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and work your way up? I really don't know. I think I'm gonna go the coordinator route. I don't. I might just pick a team. I don't know yet. I really do not know yet, and I got to figure this out in 2 weeks. Academic prestige. This ranks all university based on real academic rankings. This grade cannot be changed, so that's unfortunate to my Kentucky Wildcats, bro. Conference prestige. This represents the overall strength of a conference based on each conference member's team prestige. Coaches prestige. This is a reflection of the school's coaching staff. The head coach carries the most weight here, but coordinators also taken into account. Cool. Coach stability. This means how long the current coaching staff has been in place and how likely they are to remain there for the next 4 years. I wonder if coordinators is also taken into account for coach stability. I don't know. I'm going to be head coach for my team builder for offensive coordinator of my real team. I feel that. Here we go. Athletic facilities. This grade measures the quality of athletic facilities of the program. Waterfall and barbershops are a plus here. So can we change that or nah, bro? Like that's what I want to know. Proximity to home. This grade is unique to each recruit and is based on where the school is in relation to a recruit's home pipeline. All right. Each grade has a unique set of grading criteria. For example, playing time is graded on a per player basis. The players overall or projected overall, if they are a recruit, is compared to the team's roster and project of how many to project how many years it will take for them to become a starter. Actions you take on the recruiting trail will impact your playing time grade on both recruits and players on your current roster. Even if a player is a starter today, signing a new player in recruiting may negatively impact their playing time and cause them to enter the transfer portal. So if playing time is what they want and you get that top guy in there, bro, he might be out of there. That means he ain't with the smoke, bro. He don't want the competition. But you gotta be cognizant of that when recruiting. I think that is dope. That is definitely cool because we all know, those guys that just over recruit at position. They get the top quarterback, top running back, top receiver every single year. So I'm gonna be lurking. Bro. You do that, I am still in them in the transfer portal. So basically, the game's supposed to come out on the 15th at 4 p.m. Eastern. But at the end of the blog, the other day says it comes out on the 19th or 3 days early, aka the 16th. Any ideas? EA always does this. So for the most part, anytime they say it's coming out on this day, it will technically be like the day before for the early access. So I think it's like an under promise over sell type thing. The actual game, if you should get the standard edition, comes out on the 19th, but I believe at like that night on the 18th you'll be able to play it. Yeah, I'm Pacific, so I know at 9 o'clock you'll be able to play it. So I don't know, but I do know like 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern on the 15th we could play the game. All right, what was I here? On the other hand, championship contenders use a combination of your top 25 poll rankings, team prestige, and an assessment of your current roster quality with Bud Elliott's blue chip ratio. All right, which looks at the percentage of your roster that is made up of 4 or 5 star players. I don't know what Bud Elliott's blue chip ratio is, so we'll know. Anyone know if we can create custom recruits for Online Dynasty? I believe no. I believe they said no custom recruiting classes at all. And that's why I said, remember, Operation Don't Get Sued is a pillar of this development team. Finally, there's brand exposure, which is a reflection of your school's brand and the potential NIL opportunities you can earn at your school. While you won't see players having a mustard named after them in College Football 25, recruits and transfers alike will assess the NIL earnings and branding opportunities when considering where to go. Most grades update dynamically throughout the season, while some grades only update at the end of every season. It is important to keep tabs on your grades throughout the season and how you are trending, because a slide in grades could trigger decommitments from verbally committed recruits or a sudden transfer portal exodus at the end of the season. I'm going to read that again. Could trigger decommitments from verbally committed recruits. Hey, bro, they got me. I'm in. I was in before, but I'm in, bro. I'm in. So you got to still keep up whatever got them to commit. You got to keep that up. Your grades also play a pivotal role in recruiting and will determine how well your pitches land with the recruit. So, man. I just said I'm so pumped for this one. Gave up Madden years ago. Hey, appreciate you subscribing, bro. I'm definitely excited about this game for sure. You think they will release a Road to Glory and Ultimate Team deep dive both next week? Yeah. You're not going to release anything 4th of July weekend. At least you shouldn't. You shouldn't release anything 4th of July weekend. So I would assume next week we'll get Road to Glory. And I don't know if we'll get Ultimate Team. It feels like they purposely kind of want to stay away from that just because, how people feel about it. But I'm sure we'll probably get one. And gameplay. We should get a gameplay video, like raw gameplay next week, I would assume as well. Unless they do it later this week. You can see all of your grades and detailed information about them in the My School screen, which could be accessed from the recruiting hub. This screen allows you to assess your school's current strengths and weaknesses, as well as how you can improve each grade to become a stronger program. Highlighting your grade will show you the steps you could take to improve it, where you can actually, where you're currently ranked amongst other teams, as well as the players at risk of transferring because they have deal breakers attached to that grade. More on deal breakers and why a player will decide to leave later. All right. So we get academic prestige here. Stanford gonna be up there. It's so weird seeing that ACC logo by Stanford, bro. This a random rant. You have a academically prestigious school at Stanford. Imagine trying to get your paper and homework done, test done while you're flying across country to go play Duke. You know what I mean? Or go play Boston College while you got to fly back. I don't know why they did that, bro. Every single week is going to be crazy. Are you doing a Road to Glory series? I'm not going to lie. I'm probably going to do everything in this game. It's been 11 years. I might hit Ultimate Team, and I don't even like Ultimate Team or know nothing about it. So I'm just going to be so excited when this game first starts. I'm going to probably touch everything. So, yeah, here you go. You get the value here. I don't know who Bud Elliott is, but, there you go, man. Shout out to Bud and what he's doing with his blue chip ratio thing. But yeah, so you can kind of see here. Is this updated weekly? Yeah. So you can see here the value, where you're ranked here, the impact here, players at risk. So I mean, it's like I said, they're not going to just leave. You know what I mean? This is cool. Your first day playing should be a live video. Probably will. I'll probably just touch on a bunch of stuff and just play the game and see what it's hitting for, man. All right. Each week, the game will surface this information to you in a weekly summary, allowing you to quickly see the health of your program and any changes. The My School report will show your grades that were positively or negatively impacted by your actions in the last week, as well as any grades that have players who are at risk of transferring if it gets too low. Now, like I said, that's going to be important just so it don't just pop up on you at the end. Hold on. What is UNLV, a top school championship contender? There's 76 in that top school, though. Never mind. Collectively, your My School grades from your team prestige, which can be thought of as your My School GPA. Team prestige grades allows from 0 to 5 stars and half-star increments. So we weren't tripping. Based on your current My School grades, very few programs will achieve elite 5-star status. Even fewer will be able to maintain it for a long period of time. So it's going to fluctuate a lot, is what it's showing. Ultimately, team prestige plays a pivotal role in recruiting and the caliber of players you want to play for your program. Let's see. He says, I'll be seeing you hour 1. Hey, bro. Maybe. Let's go Fresno State. There we go. I want to do the honors and remove 3 teams from my Dynasty rebuild. All right, I'll remove 3 teams from your Dynasty rebuild. Houston, UCF, Boise State, Western Michigan, and Bowling Green. I'm going to take UCF off. I mean, they were great for a little bit. They had a nice little run. I ain't gonna lie, bro. You don't want to hear me. I'm gonna say Houston and Boise State. Take the next 2 best teams off, and you're gonna be with Western Michigan and Bowling Green. That's where I'm at. All right. Recruits and where they come from. Each season, more than 3,500 recruits are generated from across the country. Just like the real world, every class is different. Some years have a plethora of great quarterback talent, while others have fewer great prospects. Similarly, the quantity and quality of prospects from each region and country will vary. Certain regions will be more consistent in the caliber, quality, and types of recruits they produce than others. For example, Southern California is known for producing great quarterback talent, while East Texas consistently produces some of the best wide receivers in the country. However, we didn't just stop there. We wanted to go deeper to ensure we are capturing the authenticity of high school talent. Yes, East Texas is known for producing great receivers, but more specifically, they are known for how big and physical the receivers are. As a result, you are going to see bigger and more physical receivers coming out of East Texas, where South Florida is going to produce incredibly fast, deep threat receivers who have a smaller size. There we go. I like that. I love that. UCLA for sure. There we go. Let's see. Don't know if I want to start with a bad Big 10 team or Big 12. I mean, Big 10 is going to be tougher, in my opinion, but I like the style of Big 12, bro. Just put up points. We don't care about – we don't know what defense is, bro. What a recruit cares about. There are 14 different motivations a recruit can care about, all of which map one-to-one with the My School grades described above. Which motivations they care about are influenced by their star rating. A 5-star prospect is going to care more about getting to the next level, winning championships, growing their brand with NIL opportunities than a 2-star will. By contrast, a 2-star is more likely to care about staying close to home, coach stability, and academics. Every recruit will have 3 motivations that they care about. These 3 motivations form what they call their ideal pitch. During the discovery stage, your job as a recruiter is to find their ideal pitch as fast as possible to determine whether or not they align with your program. If a recruit doesn't align with your program, you're going to have an uphill battle to sign them. I like that. There are a chance that one of the 3 ideal pitch motivations is also a deal breaker. Deal breakers represent a motivation that a recruit is extremely passionate about and will not budge on. If you do not satisfy the deal breaker, they will not talk with you. Additionally, a deal breaker stays with that player forever. I love that too. So once they're on your roster, they will have to stay the same. They will have the same deal breaker they had when you recruited them to your school. You could think of this as a promise, your promise to them. If you fail to uphold your side of the deal, there's a chance they will decide to enter the transfer portal at the end of the season. Man, there we go. Sorry, a phone call. Recruiting pipelines. When we analyze historic recruiting data, it was clear that even today's day and age, recruiting is still highly regionalized. Yep. We discussed various recruiting strategies and tactics with current and former coaches, in particular, how they handle recruiting in different areas of the country. All of our research and discussion led us to new ways of thinking about pipelines in college football 25. First and foremost, it was clear that not every state is created equal when it comes to recruiting talent and pipelines. Having a pipeline in Florida is much more valuable than having one in New York. Why did New York got to catch that random stray, bro? This made clear that the traditional approach of having each state be its own pipeline wouldn't necessarily represent the recruiting landscape. One of our goals was to balance pipelines in terms of quantity and quality of recruits that come from there, as well as having how schools tend to look at them. The result was reshaping pipelines to represent a geographic region rather than a state. For example, Florida is now broken up into 3 different pipelines: North Florida, Central Florida, South Florida. Similarly, Metro Atlanta is its own pipeline, whereas New York and New Jersey were combined to become a single pipeline. In total, there are 50 pipelines in college football 25. So they did some combining of things here. The result was, I just read that paragraph. This is how you know I've been reading a lot. Look at this. We're not even halfway done, bro. This hey, listen. Hope y'all are enjoying this. Hit that like button while we're here, bro, because I am reading every last word of this deep dive. With our newly shaped pipelines, the next step was to look at every school's recruiting classes each of the last 10 years to identify which parts of the country they primarily recruit in. Using this data, we developed a tiered ranking system to represent how strong a school is in a given pipeline. Each pipeline has 5 levels, and every school was given a pipeline level based on historical data. The higher your pipeline level, the stronger your influence is in the region. This will boost a recruit's initial interest in your school and the impact of your pitches. All right. So they're doubling down on, like kind of the fit between the recruit and your school. Better get that coffee. I don't even drink coffee, but I got water. That should be good enough. And I love lemonade. I have some lemonade downstairs when I'm done, bro. So we gonna be all right. Generally speaking, your school's pipelines will heavily influence the types of players you will be able to get and where they are from. The bonuses for being the highest tier in a pipeline is extremely strong, and schools are incentivized to recruit in their pipelines. As Oregon expect to compete often with the likes of Washington and USC for players in Southern California and Arizona. Together, pipelines and deal breakers create a much more realistic and less exploitable recruiting experience. While it's still possible to land 4 stars as a small school, it will require the right fit and a heavy investment of resources and time. Our hope is that you will no longer have to make a custom house rules in your online dynasty to prevent your friend from cheating the system. This is a dub. I feel like I don't know exactly who they got from the revamp team, but I know there was a recruiting mod that ended up making it into the revamp thing where it made recruiting harder. Like the players kind of had to predetermine what they like. You couldn't kind of come in week 6, see who wasn't being recruited, and then swoop in and then land a 5-star. So it seems like this is what they're doing here. And I'm a fan. All right. Initial interest in top schools. Every recruit will start with a list of schools they're interested in. When a recruit generates their initial top schools list, they evaluate every school's My School grades in relation to their ideal pitch and motivations. They also take into account their home pipeline and proximity to home. This means that recruits from Atlanta are more likely to have schools from the Southeast in their initial top schools. However, some prospects will look to leave home and play for a school further away if the schools outside the region are a better fit for their needs, or if they don't consider any schools in the area good enough for them. So yeah, dominating your state and your pipeline is going to be very important, and I love that. Similarly, most of the top schools for a prospect who values academics are going to be very similar to another one. For example, as Rice, you will often see that recruits who are interested in your school are also interested in Vanderbilt, Northwestern, Stanford, Duke, Boston College, those type of schools, due to the high academic prestige. Depending on the motivations and location of a recruit, it is possible for them to be open to hearing any school or already narrowed down to top 8 or even top 5. So we've seen that earlier. What stadiums are you looking forward to seeing in the game? Stadiums. Obviously, Kroger Field from Kentucky. I want to see Vanderbilt's new stadium. I heard it's done in the game. I know they're doing all that construction in real life. Like it looks like they're just playing in the park, but it is done in the game. I want to see them. What other stadiums do I like? For some reason, I liked Minnesota. I like Minnesota's field. USC will be cool. I'm trying to think other cool stadiums I want to see. Tennessee when it comes to the theme games. I don't know. That might be it, man. That might be that's all I can think of top of my head. We've seen Colorado's already. So yeah, that's all I can think about right now. Texas has a nice field too. Once recruiting starts, recruits will narrow down the top schools over time, going from open to top 8 to top 5 to top 3, and ultimately commitment. Your job is to stay above the cut line each week. Great recruiters will quickly recognize losing battles and pivot their resources to a different prospect with more promise of commitment. After advancing the week, you will be shown a recruiting summary of any changes in recruit statuses, so you can quickly identify where you need to spend your time that week. And you can see here in this recruiting update, he committed. He reached the top 3 schools. I mean, this was always there, but it doesn't look easily skippable. Penn State for sure. BYU doesn't BYU have the mountains in the back? BYU. Can we be coordinators? Yes. Robbie, you can start off as coordinators. So recruiting with smaller schools is going to be hard for sure. And I think that's what they wanted. That's what I think all of us want at the end of the day. So all those rebuild videos is now going to be the same rinse and repeat. I think we're going to see a lot of rebuild videos from me and other just dope content creators where they don't get the job done. You know what I mean? So, or you got to just be really, really good at this. So I do like that. Here we go. So now we're going into the different stages that I talked about earlier was the discovery, then the one where you're actually committing to them, and then the final stage, right, when they're close. I forgot the second one. I know it was discovery, something else, and then close. So we'll see. Stage 1, discovery. The first stage of recruiting is discovery, where your goal is to learn information about the prospect as quickly as possible. The faster you can learn information about the prospect, the sooner you can decide whether or not to pursue them. Discovering intel and information about the recruit is also pivotal on how you craft your pitch and sell your school to the recruit. Uncovering that information before your competition gives you a huge advantage. So you want to get in and find out as much information as quickly as possible. Yeah, they put a lot of detail in this recruiting for sure. It sounds dope. Let's see. I was reading a comment. It threw me off. One handicap I was implementing the online Dynasty goal. These times the number of teams needs you have +7 stops 5-star hoarding. It seems like The transfer portal is going to stop hoarding, honestly. So I don't think you have to worry about that. This might go down to the best sports game ever. I'm right there with you, man. I'm right down with you. Yeah, it's not going to be easy to turn around those smaller schools, which is challenging. I love that. I love that. All right. So the next, prospect identification. Discovery starts with prospect identification. You can find prospects to recruit from prospect lists. The prospect list defaults to the recommended filter, which identifies recruits who would be a good fit for you. Your recommended filter uses the same logic as the AI when they are identifying players to recruit. It takes into account your team position needs, what pipelines a recruit is from, a recruit's interest in your school, and their star rating. You could quickly filter the prospect list by using the L2 or left trigger filter with the R2 right trigger filters, which allow you to filter by top prospects, star ratings, and states. If you'd like more control in your search, you could use the advanced search feature by pressing the triangle or Y button from within the prospect list. Advanced search allows you to search from prospects that match a specific set of criteria. You can search from the recruits in the following criteria: position, player type, which is archetype, state, minimum star rating, height, weight, handedness, quarterbacks only, interest in your school. So you can sort by, I just want a left-handed quarterback. I'm not gonna lie, that's crazy. I am happy they have that though, because I do know some people don't like playing with Tua in Madden because he's left-handed, and then they say it throws them off and whatever the case may be. So it is cool. I guess you could do that. When viewing a recruit in the prospect list, you will be able to see the bio information about the recruit, as well as key recruiting information like whether or not they have a deal breaker, if they satisfy a team need, how interested they are in the school, the recruiting stage, and how many scholarship offers they have. Once you find a recruit you're interested in, you could go ahead and add them to your board by pressing X and A. Keep in mind that you can only have 35 prospects on your recruiting board at a given time. So one thing, I don't know if y'all remember on my channel, I made a video about some leaks of somebody giving me information about Dynasty mode, and they were talking about the setup and how you can't see 40-yard dash times and you won't only see the rating and stuff like that. All of that checks out. And if that's the case, I might have another video of some info coming soon because it seems like everything checked out. I didn't want to go crazy because I didn't know how accurate everything was going to be. But so far, everything's checking out, bro. Like, I ain't know if this was a cap or not, but maybe not, bro. Like, maybe I got legitimate information. So here we go. Team needs. When setting up your board, it is important to understand your current roster strengths and weaknesses and how many players are graduating next season. How many returning starters are they going to have within any of the recruiting screens? You could press R3, click the right stick to quickly see your needs at every position. Team needs spreadsheet will now show you the overall letter grade for each position, as well as breakdown by school year and the players you are currently on your roster. It will also show how many additional players you need at the position and the numbers of players you signed at the targeted position. How many players you need at a position will vary by scheme. For example, if you run a pass-heavy offense, a scheme like the veer and shoot, which I ain't gonna lie, I'm probably gonna run, you will need 10 wide receivers, whereas a pro-style offense, you only need 6. Needing 10 is wild, though. But I'm with it. Your scheme is tied to your playbook, and the only way to change it is by changing your offensive and defensive playbook. So, which can be done at any time. You can continue to target and sign players you need. Your team needs to update accordingly. Okay, so you can't choose a scheme and choose a different playbook. I wonder what will happen with custom playbooks. How does that shake out? All right, here we go. Recruiting hours. Recruiting hours at your core current. Okay. That's how you know I'm getting tired. Yeah, decommitment's in the game, though. That's how you know I'm getting tired of reading them. We're only like halfway done. Recruiting hours are your core currency to spend on your recruiting actions and scouting each week. The amount of recruiting hours you have depends on your team prestige and what part of the season you are in. Teams with higher team prestige will have more recruiting hours each week. This is meant to model the recruiting resources a program has, with the higher tier programs having significantly more resources available to them. For example, in the preseason, a 5-star program have 1,000 recruiting hours compared to 350 for a 1-star program. 350. All right, bro. So you just sending DMs, bro. You sliding in DMs, and that's it. You ain't talking no friends and family. You ain't sending the house. You just sliding in DMs and hoping for the best. I respect it, bro. Uh, the time of year also impacts your recruiting hours. During the preseason and in the all-season recruiting, you do not have to prepare for each game each Saturday. As a result, you have significantly more time to spend on recruiting than you do in the heart of the regular season. Uh, in addition to maximizing recruiting hours you can spend in a week, each prospect has a maximum number of hours you can spend on them in a given week. The default maximum is 50 hours, but this can be increased to a maximum of 70 hours with the always be recruiting ability for that position. That's dope. Let's see. Let them have something like 2K5. Steve did updates during halftime. I think, yeah. I do know they have updates. They do have game updates. So yeah, big schools, but that's how it's supposed to be. Big schools getting the top guys. And we just got used to NCAA recruiting, and we got good at kind of, finding the holes in the game, the loopholes, right? Like the players not getting recruited, you can come in and bring them, or I find out squat and break tackle is correlated highly, things like that. You can kind of figure out how to get top guys. It seems harder. I'm sure it's a video game. Maybe there'll still be a way, but just from reading this, it definitely seems harder, and I like that. Recruiting board. The recruiting board is where you spend a bulk of your time recruiting. The general layout of the board will be familiar to many. On the left, there's a list of the recruits who are currently on your board. Each recruit shows high-level information about their statuses, including how many hours you've allocated to them, how much you see out of them, if you offered a scholarship, if you scheduled a visit on their stage, and their interest level in your school. You can filter by using L2 left trigger, for example. You can filter by prospect who are already ready for a visit. A prospect you haven't offered a scholarship to, recruiting stage, position, and more. You can also sort by the board by national rank, interest status, and recruiting stage. Of course, the board can also be manually reordered using R2 or right trigger. I want to know if a player could only have 5 visits or if anybody could visit them, because it looks like their list is going to be a lot smaller. You know what I mean? They may not have 10 teams interested at all times. All right, selecting a recruit allows you to dive in deeper and begin interaction with them. At the top of the screen, you will see a bio information about the recruit, as well as a large bar with stages on it. This bar represents the recruit's overall progress towards each stage and ultimately committing to a team. The dark area of the bar is how much the recruit progressed week over week. Within the overview tab, the dark area is how much the recruit progressed week over week. Are there different colors? So this dark bar is where they are, but they were here last week and now they're here. Is that how they are? Once a team fills their bar, the recruit progress to the next stage on top school bar where we say any teams below the cut line will be locked out and no longer able to talk with recruits. Okay. Okay. I gotta figure that out. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sitting here trying to figure out like what the hard and soft thing is. But you see your summary here. So pitch soft cells was a bunch of influence. You gained some for prove yourself soft pitch. And then your scholarship offer gave some influence as well. So that seems cool. There we go. Scouting is what I want to know too. Can we see the overall of the player? It don't look like you can, but let's find out. Before you start offering scholarships and dedicating your limited recruiting hours and resources to a prospect, it is important to make sure you're targeting the right ones for your program. During the preseason, you're only able to scout and offer scholarships. So it is a great time to scout players and ensure you are targeting the right prospects. In College Football 25, we are introducing a new scouting system designed to represent the ambiguity and the progressive discovery of high school player skills. Sounds good. And then we get 3 pictures here. Scout at 60%. I mean, this guy don't look that great. As a 5-star? Hold on, bro. This dude might be I don't know, bro, but he's an athlete. He's an athlete. He may not be a blocker. That's why it's so low. Yeah, this dude's a receiver, bro. All right. Or tight end. He's a tight end at 247. Anyway, prior to scouting a player, you will only be able to see their star rating, height, weight, hometown, position, and archetype. You will see the question marks on their attributes, abilities, and development trait. The attributes represent the top 10 ratings for that archetype. All right, so you see the archetype stuff there. Each attribute has 4 stages of scouting. Unscouted, this represents by a question mark and is the default state for every recruit. Partially scouted at this stage, you will see a horizontal bar appear. The left side of the bar is 0, right side 99. Within the bar is a gold zone that covers 25% of the bar space. The player's true rating for that attribute is somewhere in that range. Mostly scouted. Once you mostly scouted the players' attributes, you have a much clearer picture of the prospect. At this point, the gold zone only covers 10% of the bar. So 10 points. So between 82 and 92. Fully scouted. When a rating is fully scouted, you know exactly how good a prospect is, and their exact attribute rating is revealed. Let's see. Will you be able to change player names in our dynasty? I don't think so, but I don't know. They haven't said nothing about that. For a 32 player online dynasty playing up to 30 years, we'll have to get a dedicated group of people will have to play. Yeah. Let's see. Each time you scout a prospect, you will reveal a limited amount of information about them. Sometimes scouting a player will fully scout an attribute, while other times it may only be partially scouted. Additionally, each scouting action will also reveal physical and mental abilities. While attributes and abilities are able to be scouted, a player's development trait is not. When we talked about coaches' ability, coaches identifying a player's development trait, they are overwhelmingly said it is an important intangible factor that is difficult to identify without a distinct intuition and direct in-person contact with the recruit. As a result of our discussions, the primary time you will have to unlock a prospect's developmental trait is on National Signing Day. However, if you own a mind reader ability, there's a chance you will learn the development trait when you spend time with them during their official visit. So either the official visit or signing day at the end is when you get that is cool. I want to know this guy's a boomer bust, but I won't fully know, till we're all the way done. So I can't wait to recruit for speed, convert strong safeties to linebackers, linebackers to DNs, cornerbacks to safeties, etc. Now I wonder how those conversions work too. I think we'll only be able to change generated players only. That's what I would assume, but they haven't said nothing officially. We're only halfway through this, so we'll see. The coaches we talked to also described how the level of ambiguity and uncertainty around player skill set is higher for lower star rated players. This is because how much visibility top prospects get from social media, scouts, and high profile camps. Conversely, lower star rated recruits generally have less visibility, which leads to a greater level of uncertainty and unknown what their true skill is. This creates an opportunity to find a diamond in the rough. I like that. While we have modeled this uncertainty and unknown with our gem bust system, when scouting a player, there's a chance you identify that their true skill is actually better or worse than the star rating indicates. For example, a 4-star bust is really a 3-star quality prospect, while a 4-star gem has the skill of a 5-star. Of course, even if a player is a bust, it doesn't necessarily mean they are a bad player. A 5-star bust is still going to be pretty darn good. Now, this system creates a lot of variance in lower star rated prospects and provides you with the opportunity to build a program with higher quality players who slip through the cracks through the recruiting rankings. Landing a top blue chip prospect is incredibly difficult to do, so this could be a highly effective recruiting strategy to build your program. Think back to the rise of Boise State and the consistency of Oregon State in the early to mid 2000s. Both of these programs excelled at finding gems who were under recruited and overlooked by big schools. There we go. Picture doing all that with 32 other coaches. Yeah, real players. I know I'm gonna be in a 32-man online league, so online dynasty. So I get recruiting is going to be wild. I'll probably honestly drop info if y'all want to figure out how to join that once the actual commissioner figures out that whole application process. I'll probably post something for y'all if y'all want to get in the league. I know it's going to be dope. The Madden League's been ran really well for like the last 5 years I've been in it. So I'm definitely excited to be recruiting against 32 other people. Find the ideal pitch. Once you've determined a prospect meets your initial criteria, it is time to begin uncovering intel about their motivations and what they care about. Remember, every prospect has 3 motivations that they care about, which comprise of their ideal pitch. Your goal is to discover their ideal pitch as quickly as possible so that you know if their motivations align with your program, so you have the information that you need when you begin pitching in stage 2. In stage 1, there are 5 recruiting actions you could use to uncover information about a prospect. In addition to uncovering information, you will also gain some influence with the prospect. Each action has a recruiting hour cost and corresponding benefit. The more hours you spend on a recruit, the faster you will uncover information and the more influence you will gain. You can increase how fast you uncover information and the amount of influence you earn with the most influential ability, which gives a bonus to recruiting actions. Yeah, recruiting is not. I'm on PS5 for that league or that dynasty, but dynasty is not cross-platform. I would assume they will add it at some point, but right now it's not, unfortunately. All right, these 5 recruiting actions are as follows: offer scholarship. Scholarships show the prospect that you are very interested in them. As a result, you will gain a small weekly influence bonus with the prospect after offering them a scholarship. Additionally, you will not be able to bring them on campus for an official visit or receive a commitment from the prospect until you have offered them a scholarship. So even the visits, you got to bring them in. Search social media. All right, here we go. Spend time through scrolling through a player's social media to learn a little bit more about them. This will give you a very small amount of influence when you see that they like your story, that you like their story. Just be careful not to like an image from 3 years ago. I don't know what that means, bro. They could just be talking. DM the player, message the player directly on social media to start a conversation and learn more information about them. DMs will give you a small amount of influence as you start to build that relationship. Contact friends and family. Make a few phone calls to the player's family and close friends to learn a lot more about the prospect's values. This action will gain a significant amount of influence with the prospect when word gets back to them that you called when grandma starts raving about you and your program at Thanksgiving dinner. All right, send the house. From the recruiting coordinator to every other coach on your staff, send every available resource you have to our prospect to gain much influence of them as possible. And there we go. As you uncover their motivation, they will no longer display a question mark. If the motivation displays a red X, the recruit does not care about it. If it displays a green check, then it's one of the 3 motivations that they care about. With this added depth in recruiting, we want to make sure the recruiting did not become a monotonous chore and took significant amount of time each week. With this in mind, every recruiting action is set and forget it, meaning that they will stay week to week until the recruit either locks you out or commits and decides to change your recruiting action. So you can set and forget it, or you could probably come back every week and change some stuff up, which is oh yeah, because you're adding. So on this picture right here, you're adding your stuff to your actions here, and that's what they're gonna do every single week. I mean, it's cool. I'm gonna come in every week and change it myself, but it does give you that ability of not having to go through every single week if you don't want to. All right, stage 2 is pitch. Okay, so we have discovery, pitch, and close for your stages. That's what it was. There we go. After the recruit narrows their top 5 or the top schools to 5, it is time to begin pitching that prospect on your school and what you have to offer. By this point, you have a good amount of information about the prospect and what they care about. The more information you have, the more surgical you can be with your pitch. If you don't have much information about the prospect, you will effectively be flying blind and risk pitching them on something they do not care about. If your pitch does not align with the motivation, it could actually have an adverse effect on the prospect perception of you and your program. When pitching a prospect, there are 2 different pitch types you can use. Soft sell awards a moderate amount of influence when choosing the correct pitch. It also limits the downside risk of penalty of pitching a prospect on something they do not care about. This is best when you have some idea of what the recruit is motivated by, but I guess when you don't know. Hard sell. This provides the most influential when choosing the correct pitch, but it also comes with the largest penalty if you pitch the wrong thing. It is best to hard sell on a recruit when you know the ideal pitch or if you are desperate and just hoping for the best. There we go. Hope my recruit doesn't have an IG like John Morant when he was tripping. Hey, bro, I'll turn a blind eye if he good. I ain't gonna lie. All right, I'm like, well, I don't want to see that, man. All right, after selecting a pitch type, you will then select your pitch. Each pitch is a collection of 3 motivations. There are 20 pitches in total. For example, the Sunday bound pitch sells a recruit on your school being a championship contender, its conference prestige, and your school's track record of sending kids to the next level. How well the pitch aligns with the prospect's motivations as well as your associated my school grades ultimately determine how well your pitch lands with the prospect. You can increase the impact of your my school grades with the upsell ability. So there you go. 90% of online ranked matches will have against will be UGA, Bama, Oregon, or OSU probably. But I do know they have that race to the college football playoff, which I guess should motivate you or to use your favorite school. So I don't know. If your score is not perfectly in line with the ideal pitch, or if you're looking for a way to get a competitive advantage, you can sway the prospect and change their motivations. Successfully swaying a prospect will give them a second ideal pitch that is only available to you. It is possible that the second ideal pitch also creates a third ideal pitch combination as a result. Your chances of successfully swaying a prospect increase the more they overlap the more overlap there is between their ideal pitch motivations and the pitch you are trying to sway them on. It is possible to sway them on a pitch with zero motivation overlap, but it's very low probability of success. And there you go. It's like listening to an audiobook. It keeps reading. This is long. This is long, man. I told y'all from the jump, I'm gonna read all 80 pages, all 16,000 words will be read. But we're here 2 hours in. I hope y'all are enjoying this, man. All this sounds good so far. I'm not gonna lie. So we're gonna keep pushing through. We're over halfway. For example, let's say the prospect's current ideal pitch is hometown hero, which includes campus lifestyle, proximity to home, and program tradition. To increase your probability of success, you will want to sway them on the pitch that also has one or two of the hometown hero motivations. In this example, let's sway the prospect from on the college experience pitch, which includes academic prestige, campus lifestyle, and stadium atmosphere. If our sway is successful, the prospect will now care about academic prestige and stadium atmosphere in addition to the 3 motivations they already cared about as part of their ideal pitch. A successful sway gives you the ability to pitch 2 or more ideal pitches for a maximum influence gain. It also provides you with the opportunity to more closely align the prospect with your school's strengths. This is an incredibly powerful action, and if used properly, it can separate you from competition. Man, that sounds dope. That definitely sounds dope. He said hit that like button for sure, bro. Definitely hit that like button. It'll help me out a lot, man. College Football 25 audiobook for sure, and I'm here for it straight off work. I work overnight, but I'm really pumped. I want to learn the ins and outs of this game. Appreciate you for rocking with us right now, Snoop. All right, so you want to pitch, you want to sway to get additional. So actually, the 2 strategies being swaying when you want additional pitches. Say you are just dominating on a lot of stuff, you're a top school. You want to sway to kind of get them to like more things that your school already aligns with. So now, against all the other schools you're recruiting against, you have multiple, ideal pitches that you could go to that they don't have. Or you really like a player, you're good at only a few things, but everything you don't align with. Now you want to sway and hope that maybe you can get him to liking something else. So, yeah. I wonder if we can change to an 18 playoff. I don't know. We know 12 is in. I don't know if you can change to 8 or go up to 24, but we'll see. All right, we're on to the third. I need him to record him and play it back. I'll be. That's how you know, bro. I've been reading too much. I need to record him and play it back when I'm ready to sleep, like an audio book. Oh man, it's gonna be long. Probably 3 hours. I'll be good at this. I'll be on the channel though. All right, so stage 3, close. The final step in the recruiting journey is close. This is when you're bringing in the prospect for an official visit and attempt to leave a lasting impression with them. In order to schedule a visit with a prospect, they must be down to the top 5 schools, and you need to have offered them a scholarship. Okay, so that makes sure there's no more than 5 visits anyway. No recruits want to take the time to visit somewhere they won't even give them a scholarship offer. A recruit can only take an official visit to a school when they are on a bye week or they have a home game. Additionally, schools can only host up to 4 recruits in a single week. So that's a change from before. Before, you could just stack recruiting visit weeks. Now you only have 4 in a given week. When scheduling a visit with a prospect, you will be charged 40 recruiting hours. So you really can't do nothing else if a prospect has 50 hours that week. The cost to schedule them a visit does not count. Never mind. It does not count towards the maximum number of hours you can allocate to recruit. So never mind. You can then spend 90 if the player does 40. This allows you to continue your normal recruiting on the prospect in the same week that you schedule a visit. A visit is broken down into 2 main parts: scheduling and activity. On top of this, you have to worry about the wear and tear. You have to think about starters plus backups of backups. Yeah, it's the strategy level of Dynasty is going to be real, and I am 1,000% here for it. Now, here we go. Timing is everything when it comes to scheduling a visit. Waiting to bring in the recruit for a big-time rivalry game late in the season can have a lot of upside, but it also carries a lot of risk since there's a chance the prospect will commit somewhere else prior to your visit date. When you play, the day of the visit also matters. Every visit during the regular season comes with a set of game day stakes, which determines the influence bonus you will receive with the recruit for winning the game and the potential downsides for a loss. The stakes are set by the importance of visibility of the game the prospect will attend. Let's be honest. Nobody wants to go to a game in a weak environment. That's facts. Playing a lower tier opponent will provide very little upside and major downside if you lose. Conversely, playing your rival, who is also a top 5 team, will have potential of leaving a lasting impression. Of course, you can avoid the risk entirely by scheduling during a bye week, but then you get a no game related bonuses at all. That's probably for a guy like you kind of locked up and you just come in. You got to be very strategic, very on and off the field. What a grind though, for sure. For sure. All right, after setting a date with the prospect is coming on the visit. The next step is select what they are going to do on the visit. There are 14 activities a recruit can do during a visit each activity maps to a prospect motivation. Similar to pitches, the alignment of the recruit's interest level to the activity of your My School grade will determine how much the recruit enjoys the activity. Nailing the visit can often be the difference between bringing in a top 5 class or being left at the altar on signing day. If things go well, there's a chance the recruit will verbally commit to your school the following the visit. That's dope. While you should feel good about securing a verbal commitment, it is critical you stay on top of things until they sign their letter of intent on signing day. If a prospect is verbally committed and they have a deal breaker, they will decommit from your school if you fall below the required grade threshold prior to signing day. Once a player is signed on signing day, you have nothing to worry about until they arrive on campus, and your next challenge is keeping them happy and out of the transfer portal. So I want to know if the deal breaker is the only thing that makes them open back up. That's kind of what it sounds like. Long as they don't have the deal breaker, you should be okay. NCAA is always a couple steps ahead of Madden. I agree. I don't know if it's the NFL preventing them from doing stuff or what, but I agree with that. All right, so here we go. So we got the recruiting visit set up here at an FCS team. So they get nothing for a win. You lose some influence for a loss. You could play against Auburn and you get 2 influence or 4 influence off a loss. So, I mean, it's a bigger risk reward against Auburn. Coming in, you could attend a position meeting. Okay, and they're all going to align with things here. So you will choose the activities on that visit. And then, there's a nice little screen when they commit. Brian McCadley, out of Baltimore, Maryland, 4-star, strong safety. He did commit there. So congratulations to Alabama there. All right, here we go. Hey, coach, I'm sorry, but I've decided time to leave. Over the last 3 years, the transfer portal has completely reshaped the college football and how you build your roster. While it can be used to quickly upgrade your roster, it can also gut your program if a mass of players head for the exit. Just like recruits, players on your roster can also have deal breakers, and any recruit that has a deal breaker will keep the deal breaker when they join your roster. Remember, deal breakers could also be thought of as promises between you and the player. If you fail to uphold your end of the deal, there's a chance they leave in the offseason. The corresponding my school grade falling below the threshold does not guarantee they will decide to leave. The probability of the player transferring after the deal breaker has been violated is driven by with higher overall players being more likely to transfer. So if they suck, they're like, you know what, I might not be able to go nowhere else anyway, so I'm going to just stay. But if they're good, they're out of here. Keep in mind that every action you take throughout the season has the potential to impact your my school grade and therefore increases a player's chances of leaving. A perfect example is the coaching carousel, where coach firings or coaches leaving for new jobs could immediately impact a team's coach prestige grade rating, resulting in players entering the transfer portal or coach stability, right? So if they had coach stability high and that coach left, they might be in the portal. In addition to players entering the portal, higher overall players may look to go pro and enter the draft if they've been in school for 3 years or more. Players who are entering the pro draft will display the round they are projected to be drafted in. Once a player has decided to leave, you have the opportunity to persuade them to stay. The chance of successfully persuading a player to stay is determined by the overall and your coach prestige. The higher overall the player is, the harder it will be to convince than lower overall players. However, keep in mind that you only have a limited number of persuasion attempts. The number of persuasion attempts you have are determined by your coach prestige. The higher your coach prestige, the more attempts you will have. You can increase the number of persuasion attempts with the gift of gab ability and can increase your chance of successfully persuading a player to stay with the roster retainer ability. Both of these abilities are available in the program building archetype. After advancing the week, you will be able to see the pro draft results, which shows where players were drafted. When creating a pro draft results, we use real world data and pro draft trends to form when players are drafted based on their overall position. All right, so you see players right here on this list. Damian Martinez wants to go pro, projected round 2. You get your persuasion chance available there. Transfer for the outside linebacker, medium chance of coming back, but play styles while he's leaving, and then you have a high chance of persuading him, maybe because he's only a 70 overall. Who that? T. Larson tight end. So Miami is also ranked 1 in the country. So let's go Hurricanes. I guess the U doing the thing in this dynasty. I think it's best if you go play elsewhere. This is what I like, making a player transfer. While players have the ability to leave via the transfer portal every season, you also have the opportunity to make roster changes. Every offseason, you are required to get back down to 85 players on your roster. Unfortunately, that means if you are over the 85-man limit, you will be forced to encourage players to transfer and find a new home. Even if you are at or below 85 players on your roster, you can still encourage players to transfer in order to make room for new players the next season. And no, you can't encourage a brand new freshman you just signed to find a new home the moment he gets on campus. You could cut during cut week. You could cut a freshman you just got in the older NCAAs when you found out he sucked or you didn't need him or whatever. So that's it. Ask ChatGPT to summarize the article. I can, but I'm trying to read everything myself, man. But I'm sure ChatGPT will give you a really good summary as well. I wish we had options like that, add seating, concessions, change ticket prices. Yeah. But I mean, maybe once you get like NIL money, I'm sure eventually that'll be in dynasty mode. But for now, I'm kind of happy with this. Here we go. We got a whole section on the transfer portal. As we said at the beginning, one of our goals was to make the transfer portal authentically unpredictable. This begins with players leaving. Some schools may face a mass exodus of players, while others may be left untouched. Once a player has decided whether to stay or go, the transfer portal will officially open at the start of off-season recruiting. Off-season recruiting lasts 4 weeks in total, and transfers will have to make their final decision at the end of National Signing Day. Just like real life, this is chaotic 4 weeks where players are committing quickly and teams are Team rosters are rapidly changing. Teams will have to constantly make quick decisions, sometimes with limited information. Do you want to continue pursuing a high school recruit? Are there transfers who can immediately improve your roster? How much time do you want to spend on discovering a transfer's motivations and scouting them versus selling them on your program? How soon do you want to bring in a transfer for a visit? Every transfer is given a star rating based on their overall and has a national, state, and position ranking, just like high school prospects. Since people change over time, transfers also are assigned new ideal pitch and motivations. Every player in the transfer portal has the same deal breakers that caused them to transfer originally. Their new ideal pitch will include their deal breaker motivation and will be relevant to the transfer and their unique needs. After their new ideal pitch and the motivations have been set, transfers will evaluate every school and generate a top schools list just like high school prospects do. They will look at how motivations align with each motivation and adjust for pipelines and proximity to home. Since 4- and 5-star prospects are in high demand, they know more concretely about what they're looking for and will only consider 5 schools. All right, so the top prospects, that's it. You're on the list or you're not. If you are not in the top 5, you will not be able to talk with them. Lower star rated prospects will vary in terms of number of schools they are considering. Some will completely be open, while others will have as few as 3 schools they are considering. Regardless of where they start, the process of recruiting a transfer is fast and you will need to make quick decisions. Your interactions with a transfer will be very similar to interacting with high school recruits. Now, depending on the stage, you will add recruiting options, pitch to your school, and bring them on campus to visit and try to close the deal. When evaluating whether to target transfers or high school prospects, schools will look at each position on their roster throughout the season and monitor their immediate needs. If a position group does not meet the requirements, they will hold a spot for their recruiting board for an offseason transfer who they believe will come in and make an immediate contributor. Don't be surprised if you see teams finish early signing day with a light recruiting class in preparation for a big recruiting push in the transfer portal. Of course, once they see these players who are actually in the portal, their priorities may change. Having a need at left tackle is nice all during the season, but if there's a 5-star transfer quarterback who wants to come to your school, why turn them down? And then we get a nice look at the transfer portal right here from Oklahoma. Transfer portal. It seems like a dub. Let's see. What's the comment? 350 hours in NCAA is a death sentence. 350 hours. We're looking at Oklahoma right here with 13 over 1,300. So 1,350 is crazy. I appreciate you reading it all out, and I appreciate you, Joe. Signed media contracts is more like AD mode. Yeah, pretty much. I'm a Tennessee fan. I could barely read, so it helps. Well, you're like me. I talked about me and my Kentucky education earlier, so we're making the best of what we can. So it sounds like you're going to have to make those decisions, whether or not you're going to stop looking at this high school guy or keep further investing in offseason recruiting to go after the transfer portal if they're good. So they're a 4-star, 5-star transfer portal guy. Their top 5 is already set. Now, which you can see here, none of the 4-star guys have top 8 or open in their stages. So that is going to make things interesting. Yeah, because what do you do if a top guy all of a sudden wants to come? Like, you can't say no, right? Like, you got to take him. So I don't know. All right, signing day. Just like the Real World College Football 25 features both early signing day and national signing day. Early signing day takes place at the start of the bowl season after the regular season has been completed. Good. National signing day takes place 7 weeks after the national championship. On signing day, any player who has verbally committed to the school prior to signing day will sign, meaning they can no longer decommit. Okay, so you do have that chance there. And the majority of prospects will commit prior to early signing day, but some recruits may last late into the cycle. These prospects, along with transfers, will ultimately sign their letter of intent on National Signing Day. Throughout recruiting, you could view the team recruiting rankings in the top classes tab of the recruiting hub. Top classes allow you to view the team recruiting rankings for high school prospects, transfers, or combined. That's dope. So you can look at top transfer classes. You can also filter the rankings by conference. Any recruits who are unsigned after National Signing Day will stick around and become walk-ons in the offseason. With that being said, the days of a player who was actively being recruited and not committed anywhere and drifting into the world are over. Bro, they used to do that all the time. I'm like, bro, I'm the only guy to give you an offer. They're like, nah, I'm good. I'm just not going to school. You like, bro, for what? No longer we have to speculate and fantasize about what happened to them. Did they fail to get into school because of grades? Did they have a change of heart? Did they decide to try archery instead? Was there something that you said? Now the team with the highest influence on signing day will get the player as long as they have offered them a scholarship. This is a huge quality of life improvement that we have all felt and must have. We are happy we are able to deliver it. So there you go. You get your sign stuff here. I like the signs and stuff. There's just a small little touch there. Yeah, then here you go. Here's your top classes. This is your combined, I'm guessing, between transfers and players. So 33 guys from Texas, 7 5-stars, which is crazy. That is a heck of a recruiting class. No wonder they're clearly number one. Let's see. What did I miss here? The game is about to go up for real. Haven't you talked about? Yeah, they haven't even talked about Road to Glory yet. We're gonna need a guide on coach skill trees. I'm gonna make one once I figure it out. I'm gonna go recruiter heavy, but I might have to dabble in some of the other stuff. Did look good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm tad disappointed. There's no flipping schools on signing day. I mean, they could decommit before. I'm guessing signing day will be the top school, so I guess they could, like theoretically, right? Like if you're going to the last day and top 3 are pretty close, I guess it could be a chance they pick your school based off that last week of recruiting. Yeah, but no, they're not changing though. Position changes. Following signing day, you will have the opportunity to change player positions ahead of off-season progression. This is especially important for any athletes that you sign in recruiting, as they do not have an actual position. If you forget to set an athlete's position, they will be automatically assigned their primary archetypes position when you advance the week. Players will have the ability to change any other position regardless of their original position. The position change spreadsheet will show you the projected overall at the new position, which archetype they would become, and where they will rank on the depth chart, and the number of players at the position. Once you confirm their new position, they will receive a new set of physical abilities that are specific to the archetype, so their abilities can change. The mentals will stay the same, it sounds like. The physical abilities and their tiers are determined by the new attributes. Mental abilities will not change unless the mental ability does not apply with the new position. All right, so you got to be important. You got to pay attention to that when changing positions. Player progression. In college football, the offseason is the most important time period where it comes to player development. While players can improve throughout the season, the bulk of their progression and development happens during the spring and the summer. Every season, we see players who put in X number of work during the offseason and come back bigger, stronger, faster, and overall significantly better player. Player progression 25 is no different. Here we go. We want to know how this works. It's an XP base. What are we getting? All about the gains. In Dynasty, players will automatically progress their attributes and physical abilities. Mental abilities cannot be upgraded, allowing greater differential between players. Okay, they automatically progress their attributes and physical. Okay, so you may not have a choice. Players will progress during the season based on their on-field performance. The bulk of the player progression will happen in the offseason. The offseason progression happens after the position change stage, so that players will progress in the new position. The amount of player progression in the offseason is influenced by their school year, coach abilities, and their developmental traits. To simulate real-world differences in physical maturity between freshman and senior, younger players like rising sophomores will take larger leaps in the offseason than rising seniors. Similarly, players' coaching staff will have a significant impact on the development. For example, motivators can have the pay it forward ability, which awards bonus XP to a position group every time a player at that position is drafted in the first 3 rounds. Wow. Motivators can also have the put in the work ability, which increases offseason development for players in a particular position group. Progression will then be further modified by the player's development trait. In college football 25, there are 4 development traits. Normal, these players are the most common and progress at a standard rate. Expect them to steadily grow over their career. Impact, The type of players that can really change a team. They'll progress faster than a normal player with higher upside. Star, a potential Sunday player. There are very few of these that go around, and they'll establish themselves early and as fast learners. And then elite, the best of the best. These players will make a statement the moment they get on campus and have the potential to be an all-time great. I wonder if freshmen, like saying stuff like that, I wonder if freshmen upgrade that initial offseason. Once a player is on the roster, the development trait is known and can be seen on the player card, which can be assessed by pressing triangle or Y on the player on the roster screen. When a player is a recruit, the development trait is hidden until National Signing Day, unless you have the strategist archetype mind reader ability, which gives you a chance to learn the development trait when they come in for an official visit. Skill groups, as opposed to progressing each attribute individually. For example, trucking, players will instead progress an entire skill group. A skill group is a collection of related attributes. For example, the running back with power skill groups includes trucking, strength, stiff arm, toughness, jumping, and injury. Every skill group has a max level of 10. Each time you upgrade a skill group, you will increase one level and progress all the attributes in that group. With that being said, a player can have a skill group max and a cap that is less than 10. Okay, so their cap is less than 10. Okay. All right, so 10 is the most they're going to upgrade. I wonder if it's you get one per. So like, you like your trucking, can it go up just 10 or can it go up higher and you get like 10 rolls? You know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, we do get some Ohio State love. It's a nice looking picture too. Skill groups can be thought of as a player's max potential in a particular area. These will vary by player, skill group, position, and archetype. Once a skill group has hit the cap, it can no longer be upgraded unless a coach has the archetype, and limitless or put a ring on it abilities. Limitless provides a chance to increase a random skill every time a player levels up, and put a ring on it provides a chance to increase the highest skill cap after winning a conference or national championship. So this is where if you put all your eggs in just a recruiting basket or anything like that, you will start suffering when it comes to upgrading the players once they get there. But you do see the elusiveness, hands, got 2, IQ at 3. I just don't know. Like from here to here, is that 86? You know what I mean? Like how much did that jump up? I don't know. Yeah, that's what they're going to show in the next picture. Physical or mental and physical abilities. As Scott described in the gameplay deep dive, players can have up to 5 physical abilities and 3 mental abilities. Both physical and mental abilities have 4 tiers: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. Physical abilities are determined by the player's archetype, while mental abilities are position specific. While progressing, players will look to upgrade their physical abilities if they meet the rating requirement. Every tier of a physical ability has an associated attribute requirement. For example, in order to have a platinum workhorse ability, a player must have a 95 toughness. As said above, Dynasty players cannot upgrade their mental abilities. So if a player does not come in as a freshman with a particular mental ability, there is no way for them to earn that ability through progression. So that makes the mental ability super important. They either have it or they don't. That's pretty much what it is. So you see here's physical abilities. They have shifty on gold, sidestep on gold, takeoff, 360, and recoup all on gold. And then he has silver fan favorite gold headstrong for Quinshon Judkins. All right. Let's see. I can't wait to play this. I'm calling this sick for at least 3 days. Yeah, I might have a reason because my voice about to be gone after reading this, but we're almost getting there. Here we go. Impact players. Look at all those X's on the field, or those stars on the field. Impact players are back, and they are quick ways for you to easily identify the key players on the other team. Every team will have at least one offensive and one defensive player who is an impact player. However, unlike the past, there is no limit on the number of impact players a team can have. Wasn't it 3 before? On each side of the ball. Explosive offenses with playmakers everywhere might have 5 or 6 impact players across the board, letting you know straight up they got dudes and they are about to cook. I mean, man, look at this. Georgia, hey, not messing around with Georgia. They got those guys everywhere. Look at the start under the player. Yeah, the O line is crazy, bro. And he talked about gym recruits. I think they said you will notice it. They did say they're going to be gym and bus. I don't think you get the actual like gym icon, but they say you're going to notice it when you look. You fully got a player and his ratings are way higher than what a 3-star is. Or I guess if you find out the man got what was the ability elite. Yeah, I passed elite. Yeah, elite or star dev trait will be crazy. I appreciate you though. Hey man, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me, man. I know this is long, so we're trying to get through this thing. Yeah, UGA's O-line is no joke. It is serious. I mean, I guess the center and the right tackle, I guess. If you want to blitz somewhere, there you go. Here we go. Here's another whole element. We haven't even talked about the wear and tear system yet. Managing wear and tear. With the introduction of the new wear and tear system, the week-to-week management of your players is more essential than ever before. As described in the gameplay deep dive, players can incur damage to body parts during gameplay. The more damaged the body part is, the more it will impact their on-field performance. In addition to on-field gameplay, players will also incur wear and tear damage during Super Sim. Yeah, so you can't just sim your way out of it. Each week, players will recover some of their wear and tear damage. The amount of recovery is dependent on how damaged the body part is. For example, let's say in the previous game, your running back severely damaged his right ankle and his left shoulder. His left shoulder was only slightly damaged. The next week, you could expect his shoulder to be fully recovered and his ankle to only be slightly recovered. His ankle would then be something you will want to monitor in the next game. That's big. You could decide to sit him in an effort to allow him to get back to full health the following week, or you could play him at the risk of increasing how long it takes for him to fully recover. In the effort to ensure players are not disappearing in big games late in the season, we have set the minimums that a player will always recover when advancing the week. All right, so I mean, they won't recover enough to play, is what it sounds like. You can monitor your player's wear and tear damage system or damage by viewing the health tab in the player card. To assess this, go to the roster spreadsheet, press Y or triangle on the player. This will show up his damaged body parts and associated ratings impact. So they have the rating impact right there. So you can see his left shoulder, poor Donovan Edwards, is Michigan. So you know they was running the rock. Left shoulder, so -3 to his break tackle, -3 to his catching, -2 to his carrying. His right leg, -4 to break tackle. I wonder if these all stack. -4 to his break tackle, -3 to change of direction, -3 to his speed. Left foot, -4 change of direction, -3. I mean, so his break tackle is -10. -3 speed, so he's -6 speed. Yeah, bro. This is going to make you think of a lot of stuff. This is going to be crazy. Imagine 5 receivers sets with 5 receiver impact players, air raid all day. Yeah, that would be crazy. Let's see. I hope we get add creative players like NCAA 14. I don't know, but I mean, all this looks good. I'm about to for sure have at least 2-star receivers and at least 2 quarterbacks and 3 running backs. You gotta hope they don't transfer though. You know what I mean? All right. I'll pass on Edwards. Edwards is beat up, bro. All right, delivering the world of college football. One of the biggest challenges we face in the development of college football 25 was the task of recreating everything that makes the sport of college football so unique. Unlike most professional sports, where so much of the league is basically it's a template. I'm never going to try to say that, templatized, and where uniformity helps drive a quest of parity. College football is a sport that marches to the beat of its own drum. There ain't no parity in college football, bro. You got the dominant teams and you got your trash teams, and we already know what it is. So it's a sport that thrives on the chaos created by the very lack of conformity. And while the lack of conformity makes college football so special, it also makes the task of building the world of college football so much more challenging. So let's talk about these elements that helps immerse you in your coaching journey and your recruiting trail. A big shout out to Kyle, bro. $4 super sticker, man. Hey, much love. Definitely appreciate that. Because we've been here. We've been here, man. But this is great. I love it. Here we go. A new day in college football. We got the playoff. A lot has happened since we last made a college football game. Most notably, the entirety of the 4-team college football format has come and gone. That is facts. But this year starts a new day for college football with a 12-team format as you get to experience it first in college football 25. Thanks for audiobook reading. Hey, man, it's a lot to read. I'm just happy to have people to read it with, to be honest, because I was going to read this silently, though. I wouldn't have read it out loud, but I was going to read this anyway. There are a lot of intricacies with how the new college football playoff format that college football fans will need to get used to. During development, the members of our team were able to participate in a mock selection committee session hosted by the college football playoffs to help us better understand the process of how the committee determines their rankings. With the expansions to the new 12-team format, we are able to apply those learnings to project how the committee will value wins and losses in the world. We're going undefeated in the power conference is going to be less and less common, and the perception of the schedule imbalance continues to widen. That is so true because, bro, going undefeated in the SEC or the Big 10 now or the Big 12 now, the ACC maybe, but come on, bro. It's so much. It's going to be so – you're not going to do that. Ohio State dropped 50. I don't know why that just stood out to me. Oregon's your national champs. They put 42. Who took out Georgia? Ole Miss took out Georgia. Yeah, Michigan dropped. Rice is in the. Come on, bro. What did Rice do? How did Rice get in here, bro? At 10-4. Yo, who did Rice play? Yo, Rice had to beat some top dogs to get in here, bro. Or they won the conference, right? They won the conference. That ain't like the best of the non-power fours get in or something like that. I don't even know the new. I gotta brush up on that. Let's see. Can we play any bowl game without the 12-team playoff? I don't think so. I think that's kind of in there. Oregon beating Ohio State for the Natty is wild. Oregon's nice. Oregon beat Ohio State last time they played, but I don't know. Yeah, but now they got the rivalry in the Big Ten together. You're right. Yeah, I don't know what Rice did, bro. Listen. Congrats to them though. They lost, but congrats to them. Where were we at? While the media and coaches polls run throughout the entire season, you will need to wait for the calendar to turn to November before we start to get first peek of the 12-team bracket is shaping up. You will get a first look at both the college football playoff top 25 as well as the playoffs, which you would be seeded based on the rankings and seeding rules. Yes, I don't know all the new rules. I gotta learn the new college football rule. UCLA, the top to the top. With that, they have the good campus lifestyle. It should be there. I'm not a fan of the 12-team playoff. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Oregon is better than Ohio State. Are they? I don't know. It's close. I will say it's close. Ohio State got Chip Kelly as the offensive coordinator now. You know he's going to cook something up. But now I don't know, man. That's a tough one. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be a great game. I would say Ohio State might be better. But, man, that's a close one. Here we go. We created a unique logic for our college football playoff poll to model how we anticipate the rankings to look in the new format. Generating a believable opinion-based poll is no easy feat, especially one when we are projecting what may happen versus being able to use real-world results as a reference point. That's true. They could get it wrong at first. I don't think nobody's going to be mad at them. You are what your record says you are is the misdemeanor of college football. So factors like school and conference prestige can impact where schools find itself in the college football poll. Each week of the season, they have the coaches poll, media, and college football playoff polls, along with the 12-team playoff bracket update based on the most recent results. And the final rankings and brackets are revealed following the completion of the conference championship game. I wonder they should have some type of presentation. I might be asking for too much, but they should. I'm pretty sure the best two groups of 5 teams make the playoffs plus the Power 5 champs. Okay. So the best two of the group of 5 teams, the Power 5 champs, and the rest are at large. So Bryce was an at large bid. I know they did something with one of the non-Power 5s or 4. I don't know if you want to count the Pac-2. What's going to happen with Washington State and Oregon State? Like, are they just automatically in? One of them is going to get in. Would you give Ohio State the edge on defense? Yeah. I think Ohio State for sure. Will you make a new or old conference or keep it as it is for your first dynasty? I'll probably keep it as it is for my first one, and then I might have different challenges and other stuff like that as I go through. But I think originally I'll just keep it as is. All right, so here you go, college football playoff. You've been invited to play in the playoff. All right, so Ohio State 11 versus number 4 Texas. Once the rankings are set, it's now time to see the bracket. As many people reading this already know, the 12-team format, 5+7 model. Okay, meaning the 5 highest ranked conference champions will automatically get burst into the playoffs, and the remaining 7 spots will be filled based on the order of the final college football playoff ranking. The only way to get a first round bye is to be one of the 4 highest ranked conference champions. So an undefeated Notre Dame and any other independent, as well as the winner of the Pac-12, can be seeded no higher than 5th. Okay, and will never be eligible to skip the playoff first round. The 5th automatic qualifier that did not get a first round bye will be seeded based on where they rank in the college football playoff. So Alabama cheated their last game to beat Kentucky. We know that's not happening. So Alabama somehow cheated for that win. Kentucky was ranked 15, so they probably knocked Kentucky out of the playoff. So all of that kind of hurts, not gonna lie. Yeah, so you get your conference champs and then the next highest 7. So I don't know. I'm sure there's a different screenshot because I don't know how Rice got in here, bro. Unless they won their conference championship. Liberty is 13. Oh yeah, this one's different. Yeah, so here you go. So Liberty's your final at large. They're 13 there. So it's definitely a little bit different. Who am I playing with? I don't know. I really truly do not know. Feels like the best conference. Yep, could make it. And then I wonder how bad weather games will play. They said it's going to matter, so we'll see. I'm so happy we're finally this right here. We're finally getting down to the end of this page. Now, one of the most exciting things about the new 12-team format is that the first round games will be played on campus. Hosting one of these games will mean you have all your home field advantages on your side. That is huge as you take on your opponents as they look to win and advance. So first round, if you get a home game, you're not golden, but you're good. Yeah, this is the real life playoff format. So you definitely want to have the home game. The playoff quarterfinals, semifinals will take place at the bowls, formerly known as the New Year's Six, the Orange Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Rose Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, Cotton Bowl, and Peach Bowl, which rotate annually each year of the Dynasty, just like they will in real life. The College Football Playoff National Championship game has its own rotation of hosts, starting with Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. The championship game will rotate, though, in an additional 10 locations before looping back as you continue deeper in your dynasty. All right, so the Natty has 10 locations, and this is a loop. In addition to the College Football Playoff, we also feature 34 bowl games using each of the Real World Bowl tie-ins. So the R+L Carriers New Orleans Bowl will annually feature teams from the Sun Belt, and Conference USA. The Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl will feature teams from the SEC and the Big Ten, etc. So there you go. So here's the bowl games. You have your bowl projections, like the old games still here. So that's awesome. Your bowl games are still there. And then your to be determined are your playoff stuff. So these are your buys and the teams waiting in the first round. Just like the college football playoff bracket, you will get your first look at the bowl projections in the first week of November of each season. Each week that you keep winning, you see yourself climb in the polls, playing in a more prestigious bowl, all while trying to earn a berth in the college football playoff. The new era of college football is here, and by the time the 12-team playoff happened in real life, you'll already be an expert on how the format works just from playing Dynasty mode. That's facts. I'm about to learn more from this than them trying to explain it to me. I definitely want player suspensions back. I don't know if they haven't said nothing about it, so I doubt it. I think I should just let all the conference champs from the Power 5 and Group 5 and have the 2 at large. Yeah. I mean, that can make sense as well. But I mean, I know they're trying to say the new conferences are so tough. you don't want to start eliminating them. So I mean, I can understand it. It's going to be weird. I think the first couple of years of the real life playoff system is just going to be wild in general, and then they'll kind of pick up on stuff as we go. Here we go. Meet your neighbor. Speaking of the dawn of a new era, the latest round of conference realignment has dramatically changed the landscape of college football. And just like the 12-team college football playoff format, you will get to experience the new reality first in college football 25. So here's the custom conferences. It looks just like NCAA football 14. Every conference is set with their 2024 alignment. The Sun Belt is the last conference to feature divisions, and the scheduling logic has been set for both the current season as well as the future year rotation based on each conference's rule set. The SEC will accurately follow the eight game with one protected opponent rotation, while the Big Ten will utilize their 9-game flex protect model and so on. So they got all of the models for each conference and how they work. If you need a refresher of who's where, or if you're looking to follow along with the conference races, you can keep an eye on everything in the conference standing screen. So, yeah, we pretty much figured that was going to be there. Why is Colorado rated so high? Because it's Colorado, bro. Clemson too high too. Clemson 90 is crazy. I'm not gonna lie, it is. But hey, we should have. Kentucky should have beat Clemson in the bowl game too. Anyway, be your own conference commissioner. If you prefer to reset conferences to a previous configuration, push forward to a potential future, or just blow everything up and make whatever conference membership you want and adjust the rules to your liking, you have the power to be the czar of the college football and set things how you like them with custom conferences. You can reduce any conference to as few as 4 members and grow any conference to as large as 20. In addition to moving schools into different conferences, you have schools go independent or the ultimate schedule flexibility. But remember, it comes at the expense of a potential first round bye of college football playoff. That's crazy that Notre Dame can never have that bye. You will also have the ability to edit each conference's rules, determining if they will not have divisions, what those division names are, and how many conference games will be played annually. If the conference will have a conference championship game and the location of that championship game, either at a neutral site location or at the home site of the highest ranking team. You will be able to make adjustments to the conference membership and rules when starting a dynasty, as well as at the end of each offseason, giving you total flexibility to change however you want both at the start of dynasty as well. Change the landscape of future based on dynasty results and keep things fresh and interesting as you go deeper into your coaching career. We'll definitely, I know for me and my friends, that we'll definitely be making tweaks as we go throughout. Keep the top teams in the power conferences, things like that. Moving conferences does not mean you're stuck with the old conference jersey patch. So it is official. For the logo on the 25-yard line, they will dynamically update based on the conference membership. That's big. As you see, JMU doing big things. Let's go, Dukes. Get the ACC, and it's color themed. So they don't have, the ACC white and blue. They got their purple and gold. Yep, and there we go. We got the ACC patch on them fire JMU uniforms, bro. Here we go. Let's talk. We're almost done. In the online dynasty, only the commissioner can make changes. Let's talk schedules. College football is unlike any other sport in so many of the weeks off in the season means something special to so many different schools. It's not enough to make sure that the schedules rotate and that the home and away statuses get flipped for the new year. Is if the third Saturday in October, Tennessee better be playing Alabama. If it's Thanksgiving weekend, then the Iron Bowl, the big game, Florida State versus Florida. I mean, if it's also after Thanksgiving, Kentucky got to be playing Louisville, bro. I don't know why it wasn't big enough to write in there, but Kentucky got to be playing Louisville after Thanksgiving as well. And a host of other rivalry games better be on the table next to the turkey and stuffing. Dynasty mode scheduling system will be sure that those special games get filled on the correct weeks before adding the rest of the conference games and non-conference slate into each of the 12 games. That's dope. That's dope. Did we miss it? Let's see. Are we able to name your own conferences? No, but you can name the divisions in there. Let's see. That's why I said you have to have dedicated squad to play with. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they got the patches. That's crazy that they got the patches in there. War Eagle. Yeah, this is a dub. All this is a dub. I'm enjoying this stuff so far. So you see Florida got Florida in real life got the toughest schedule I probably ever seen in life. They're gonna take this L October 19th. That's tough. But they might look. I ain't gonna lie. Florida might lose here. They're gonna lose here. I'm gonna speak that into existence again. They're gonna lose here, probably lose here. Poor Florida, bro. I'm sorry if there's any Florida fans in here, man. As a Kentucky guy, I hate y'all, bro. So it is what it is. What if we want to change conferences and keep it like real life? I'm sure the rivalry games might carry over, but I'm not sure. Yeah, you don't have to change anything. Yeah, you keep everything default. BBN, yes, sir. All right, there we go. For non-conference games, we have included as many real-world games as were announced by the time we had to lock our schedules. So when you get to 2027 and 2028, the Florida State Georgia home game series will already be scheduled. Wow. In 2029, 2030, the Notre Dame Alabama home games will be scheduled. Wow. Our schedule generator will be used to fill out everyone's schedule to make sure that every school has 12 games for all 30 years of the dynasty. Kickoff games like the Duke's Mayo Classic and the Vegas Classic are here as well and will be scheduled in future years of dynasty mode. I wonder if you could customize your own schedule though. Another recent addition to the world of college football is the concept of week 0. While season still kicks off on Labor Day weekend for majority of schools, some get things started a week prior that has been affectionately termed week 0. The authentic week 0 games are scheduled for year 1 of Dynasty, and in the future years, week 0 will get utilized. However, the bulk of the schools will still put toe to leather for the first time traditional Labor Day week. That's fine. Week 0 is just a little taste. There's a couple of games, 1 or 2 big games, and we're good to go. Florida about to be 0-6. Yeah, bro, that schedule is brutal. To their defense, that's probably the hardest schedule I've ever seen in the season Florida has this season, man. So it is tough. You can see your team's entire schedule on the team schedule screen, or look at the schedule around the country week by week from scores/schedules. Each week of the broadcast type will be determined based on what is the biggest game on that week's slate. If you're either a national or a streaming broadcast, it will be called by Reese Davis, Jesse Palmer, David Pallett. The game of the week will be called by Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit. We heard that in the presentation deep dive. Majority of your games, for the most part, are going to be Reese Davis, Jesse Palmer, and David Pallett, right? But game of the week, college football playoffs, that's when you're going to get Fowler and Kirk. I'm not sure about bowl games. Maybe the rest of bowl games will be these 3, and then you'll get the 2 for the playoff. That's kind of what I'm guessing, but who knows? The crowd themes that our friends in the presentation talked about also appears in Dynasty. If your school does a whiteout, blackout, checkerboard, striping, etc., you will see those crowd themes in the first home game of the season for rivalry games, and if you're named as the game of the week. Okay, first home game, rivalry games, game of the week. That's when we get the themes. So there we go. Can you play games that your team isn't in? I don't think so. I think somebody, I don't know where I heard this from, but somebody said that's confirmed not to be it. So from what I know, you cannot play games that are not yours. I hope that broadcasting is fire and they really, had on big plays. I'm sure. It felt like they put in all this work. I'm pretty sure it is. Here we go. Set your schedule. In addition to custom conferences, you can also customize your non-scheduled conference via custom schedules every preseason. So you can still pick your schedule. Conference games are designated with a lock icon that cannot be edited, but your non-conference games do not have the lock, signifying that they're a fair game to edit. Select any week that features a non-conference opponent or any bye week to be able to select a different team to play. You can only have a max of 12 games, so you will need to remove any game before trying to add a new one. When you select a week, you will see all available opponents that you could choose from. Some schools will not be available if they are already locked into a conference game in that week, so you have more luck finding a larger set of available teams earlier in the season before most schools have started the conference play. All right. There we go. Custom schedule. This is how you see what teams are there. So you can see the play style, all that before you even schedule them. Let's go. And then here we go. This is just a look of your schedule, and then I guess you can see if what stadium is in. I'm guessing if it's a preseason, like a neutral site game, you'll be able to see that as well. So there you go. You can also change if non-conference games is home or away by simply toggling home and away status on the schedule screen. To avoid the mass confusion of multiple people trying to edit the schedule at the same time, the commissioner in Online Dynasty is responsible for making all custom schedule changes. So the commissioner has to do all that stuff, which makes sense. I'm not mad at that. Anything about user games? No, they're not saying nothing about user games, but well, we are winding things down. Here we go. Team Builder and Online Dynasty. Team Builder is back. You can import up to 16 Team Builder teams in a private online dynasty. The commissioner will need to replace existing FBS schools with the Team Builder teams they want to add when setting up the dynasty, including Team Builder schools, is only available at the creation of the league and can only be used in private online dynasty. So make sure your commissioner knows which schools you want when you get. So yes, you have Team Builder in there. There's only 16 instead of 32. I don't know why, but that's cool. So that is confirmed. That is solid. To burn a shirt or not burn. Oh, here we go. Redshirt rules. Let's get to it. The changes in the world of college football have not been limited to off the field. Handling red shirts has seen a recent overhaul. And to keep in line with real world, we have implemented the ability to play up to 4 games, yes, in a season and still be eligible to take your red shirt. Each preseason, you will have the option of selecting which players you for sure want to redshirt. And during the course of the season, you can monitor how many games each player has played in order to make the determination on if you want to keep playing that player or have him sit the remainder of the year in order to preserve his redshirt status. Those 4 games can be played at any point in the season, so you can get a freshman some reps early in the year and then hold them out the rest of the year and then bring them back for a playoff run and run if wear and tear on your roster is down and need a fresh body. Interesting. I didn't know they could come back. I personally didn't even know they could come back and play in the playoff game and still keep their redshirt eligibility. I thought it was just regular season. You should have a dynasty replay some of the games live and other real players in the season to play some games live. Hashtag your page. Players in the season to play some of the games. Oh, like other people playing it. I don't know. It's definitely interesting. They did not talk about difficulty settings yet. All right. What else we have? Once a player has played in their 5th game in the season, they are no longer eligible for a red shirt for that year, but will be eligible for a red shirt the following year. If micromanaging red shirts is not your thing, nowhere at all, anyone who is eligible for a red shirt at the end of the season will have it automatically applied. Yeah, so if you didn't play those games, you can get it automatically. Earning some hardware. College football loves to celebrate accomplishments, whether it's reclaiming a 100-plus-year-old water jug from a rival, like the annual Michigan-Minnesota game, a coach hosting up the SEC trophy in Atlanta in early December, or the most outstanding player in college football award, the Heisman, striking an iconic pose just 1 week later. The college football and awards are synonymous. Rivalry trophies will be on the line, and the winner of each contest takes home both the trophy and bragging rights for that year. Conference, bowl, and national titles will contribute both to your coaching's pedigree, but also the school's program tradition grade. When it comes to individual awards, the conversation has to start with the most storied trophy of all sports, the Heisman Memorial Trophy, which is awarded annually to the most outstanding player in college football. Each week of the season, keep tabs on the Heisman Watch and see who is in the running for the prestigious award as the Heisman race heats up, as we get the award being announced heading into the first bowl week. So here we go. They got my guy, Ollie Gordon. Just got arrested for the DUI, bro. My favorite running back in college football. To have him on top of the Heisman list. Shedeur Sanders is there, Quinshon Judkins, Travis Hunter, Carson Beck. I don't know how Travis Hunter wins it. They have him listed as a receiver. We know how they are about defensive positions when it comes to Heisman. Is there a halftime show any kind? In Dynasty, they have not said anything yet. I do know they have game breaks, like updates, but that's all we know. Oh, yeah, this sounds – I'm so turned. Those rival trophies, all that's going to be cool. Recruiting has search social media. I don't know if you actually do. I think it's just going to kind of give you some unlock their pitches. That's what I think it is, but they're kind of simulating that. And then your Heisman winner goes to Dylan Gabriel. 39 touchdowns, 7 picks, just under 4,000 passing yards. That's crazy. Yeah, no, you can't actually see what they post about. But I do, yeah, you can see who they're getting recruited by, though. In addition to the Heisman, we have other individual position awards like the Lou Graza, the Lombardi, United's Golden Arm Award, and among others. We also have the Broyles Award for the best coordinator in the country. Wow, to go along with the Head Coach of the Year award. Preseason and postseason All-American teams are named annually as well. In preseason, both first and second team All-Americans are named at the national and conference level. Postseason All-American teams feature first, second, and freshman teams at the national and conference level too, just like the old games. You'll be able to follow the nominees and finalists for the awards in the college football tab at the Dynasty Hub. The All-American teams are announced in the preseason as well as the first week of bowl season when the other awards are handed out. In addition to annual awards, players of the week on offense and defense are determined by both national and conference level. Now, here we go. We're almost done. Finally, guys. Records are made to be broken. No career mode will be complete without the tracking of player stats in the record book. Season stats track individual player stats for the current season, while team stats track a number of categories at the team level for the current season. Career stats track individual player stats for the entirety of the collegiate career. Coach stats track the lifetime accomplishments of coaches and are also served as a way to get a look at each coach's current job security status so they could get an early look at jobs that may be available in the coaching carousel. The record book covers players on the career, season, and game level. Every stat category and every record is tracked at the national, conference, and team level. College Football 25 is the first time we have tracked records at a conference level, giving you one more set of milestones to try to break during a career. We got prize stickers. Here we go. Play for the pride stickers. For certain schools like Ohio State, Florida State, the prize stickers are applied to an individual player's helmet of the course of the season as iconic as any other tradition in college football. Each season, the helmet starts fresh, and over the course of the season, based on the player's performance, prize stickers are added to give a visual representation of that player's accomplishments. That's why I love Ohio State. I love prize stickers. My high school had prize stickers. I'm a big guy for prize stickers, bro, because you know who's him. Like, bro, you looking at Ohio State, bro, you got like 5 stickers on your helmet. Somebody else got their whole helmet. Like they overlapping stickers. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Come on. He said, I'm about to put 1,000 hours in this 30-year dynasty for sure. I don't understand why they would take the ability to play or watch the top games of the week. Yeah, I don't know. He said this game's going to be incredible. Madden 25 is going to be crap like usual. I mean, I like the gameplay of Madden, but I mean, is what it is. They better have the beer barrel trophy between Kentucky and my Vols. I mean, they went this far. I'm assuming they got it. Now, what else did I miss? Is there a cutscene for the Heisman? I don't know. I felt like I seen something, but I don't know. Just a thing. This is only year 1 college football game. Yeah, I mean, it's a great start. Great foundation. Now they did work on it for some time, but it's a great foundation. Put on easy rebuild the worst team like the Sun Devils. Arizona State. There we go. Madden best up the game up this year. Plus you can train. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I like the gameplay of Madden a lot. I do like the gameplay of Madden a whole lot. So yeah, here we go. So you started with DJU, couple prize stickers filled up right there. Here we go. I'm sure we're gonna get the same thing for Ohio State. Yep. I'm a fan of that. We worked with each school to understand the field pattern to make sure that the stickers are being applied over the course of the season and are being added in the correct patterns based on how the schools apply them in real life. Here we go. What else? No Dynasty deep dive. Deep dive is complete without going through some of the utility features of the mode. Both online and offline can go up to 30 seasons. Up to 32 players can participate in a Dynasty offline or online. Only one user per school. The commissioner is in charge of determining the settings for the Dynasty. The roster file that's used at league creation handles all the conference and custom schedule changes and is responsible for advancing the league. No pressure. You can keep track of everyone's status in the member screen. Commissioner status can be transferred to the member screen as well. Commissioners will have the ability to force a win in the event that a game was not able to be completed. And for those of you that like to restart a game for the CPU that isn't going your way, the number of times a game was started is tracked on the score/schedule screen for all to see. Here we go. This is the finally the end. We got post game speech. Congratulations if you have made it this far in the blog. Standing at nearly 17,000 words and 85 pages, this blog is a representation of how passionate this team is about the game. The level of dedication, commitment, and passion is what makes this team special. Both of us are proud to be part of it. The entire team has had a do whatever it takes mentality because we know how important this game is, and more specifically, Dynasty Mode is to you in the community. Like we said at the top, at the end of the day, everything is being centered around one goal: satisfy the core community because this is their game. Our entire team embraced this and tried our best to embody it each and every day. It's been an incredible journey, and we couldn't be more excited for you to finally experience it. Thank you to the entire team and to the community for the passion, excitement, and support for this game. With that being said, we will want to see you again soon for the Road to Glory deep dive. There we go. Chad Walker, Ben Hamler, the entire coach, college football 25 development team. Oh, there we go. There we go. We made it through it. We made it through it, man. It was long. It was long. What else we get? This looks so epic, and we have to put the effort in Dynasty. Yeah, yeah. This looks awesome. Some things happen, but you say happen, but most is Madden solid. Yes. I think Madden will eventually get it right. I know they have like some new franchise like leadership, and I do think the guy that made NFL head coach is now like running franchise mode at least. So I think he'll get it right. But with coding, it takes time. You really only have 8 months in a dev cycle. You know what I mean? So I'm sure he'll get it right eventually. But yeah, I mean, NCAA or college football 25 sounds like it's going to be amazing. We're getting a good EA game before GTA 6, which is wild, right? The detail they deal with this. Why don't they do that with Madden? I think they'll get there, but I don't know. Cash grab. I would assume you could change skill level. Missy, I don't see why not. Yeah, definitely proud of these guys. They definitely did. They definitely did the thing. Can you read it again? No, absolutely not. We are not going through this again, man. I'll read the Road to Glory one. Hopefully, it's shorter than this one, but no, we're not going through this again. Yeah, college football deep dive. I don't know if we're going to get a. I don't know if we're going to get a Ultimate Team deep dive. I'm sure they'll talk about something about it. From my knowledge, we should get Road to Glory deep dive next week, and we should get raw gameplay at some point. And I don't know about Ultimate Team. I truly do not know about Ultimate Team. All right, before we get out of here, because we already did all this, man. Let's do this. Let's run through this trailer one last time. Now knowing everything that we just seen, reading all of that, knowing everything we just seen, we get another perspective on the deep dive itself, the video portion, because we have now seen everything. So all right, let me get this back shared here. Let's give this one last watch. Here we go. Here we go. And now we can watch it knowing everything. I still haven't seen the tattoos. I know we talked about the tattoos. I still haven't seen them. There's no sound on the video? Uh, let's see. I should have share. Let me try this one more time. Thought I have share audio on. Unless. Hmm. All right. Hopefully it works. Nope. No sound. I don't know what's up with the sound, but it's all good, man. I'll listen. At this point, I'm just happy to be done reading. You saw tattoo on one of the QB's arm. Was it the grass? I definitely seen the grass stain. Definitely seen the grass stain for sure. The recruiting again, the pipelines haven't. They didn't really talk too much about the different pipeline stages. Like you see, they have different grades, right, or different tiers. So I'm not sure. I don't know how to get the sound on. It worked earlier. I don't know what's going on now with the sound. This recruiting is going to be a little bit different with the different stuff. Appreciate you. I'll be doing Dynasty guys. I don't know about nano blitzes. I'm not that great at the game, bro. So I'm not the one you want to go to about getting better at the game. But Dynasty stuff, you guys show me. So yeah, you got to stay in the top, the recruiting top stuff. I mean, I like it. Just looking at it again after everything we've been through. I mean, I don't think there's no way that. I mean, you can have small gripes of things you wanted, like maybe NIL could have been a little bit more, like actually having budget, but stuff like overall for this first effort, um, obviously spent time, you know, like this is maybe someone you for working on for 3, 4 years, but it's good. I definitely think it's going to be better than franchise mode and Madden, unfortunately. You know what I mean? So 32 users online is going to be crazy. If you can fill that out, that's going to be insane with the recruiting stuff. Yeah, it's definitely a different scoreboard for the playoffs. I just noticed that was a regular scoreboard there. The half prestige is different. The whole custom alignment changes is cool for those that want to get creative and really do their own thing and put what they want. I think that is awesome. I love the new defensive scheme. I know we talked about it during the gameplay, but like all the new defensive schemes in here, and offensive schemes, just the different styles. I think is going to make this pretty cool as well. Yeah, so starting off as a coordinator, I think a lot of people are going to do that, especially because it looks like it's going to be tough to just get a job. Before, you could be a coordinator 1 year, and then really 2 years max. You had elite programs coming after you. What this progression is just looking like it's just a longer progression. It seems like the career of just being a coach was a career of just being in one school building. It's taking longer. If it takes longer, you invest more, and it's more difficult. It makes the reward that much better when you finally do get that natty. You know what I mean? Or you finally do get the number one recruiting class. It's gonna make it feel better. You're getting the job offer, right? You see right here, the coaches. I mean, the schools have their preference and what they want. So I don't think you're gonna just get offered from every school. You know what I mean? keeping your coordinators and hoping they don't go elsewhere, going to the NFL. Those are all awesome. But you're not even choosing how they upgrade. It makes all that stuff. There's a lot of strategy. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of strategy in the dynasty mode. Uh, You could go quickly to the recruiting, or you could spend a lot of time in it as much as you want. So, hey, no problem. Hey, listen, man, I appreciate y'all for rocking me. This was insanely long. I knew it was gonna be about 3 hours. We went over the 3 hours. So listen, we went through it. We went through it all, man. Before we leave, chat. Dynasty, is it a dub? Is it an L? We do this every deep dive. What do y'all think? It's a dub for me. It's 1,000% dub for me. Let me know in chat though where we stand. Y'all liked it after all that? I'm excited. I'm excited. It's a W right there. Yeah. I mean, bro, they have so much. They have so much. And they're confident about it too. Like just putting all that. I'm sure there's things to discover, right? As you play through it. Sure, there's different strategies about things. I'm sure just with any mode, there's probably gonna be some hiccups here and there. But overall, as a package, this is looking like it's gonna be very, very good. Looking like it's gonna be very, very good. I think the best football game of the year. I think it's better than Madden. I haven't even played it. I've played Madden beta. I love the gameplay there, but this is I think with the dynasty mode alone is gonna be better. So, all right, y'all, we're gonna get out of here, man. We've been here for over 3 hours. I can appreciate y'all. Hit that like button on the way out. Subscribe if you haven't already. We have more college football stuff coming. Actual gameplay and content when the game drops. If anything else comes out, we will be there. We will be there live streaming for the Road to Glory deep dive just like this. So make sure you're subscribed, man. Definitely, like I said, I can't say it enough. Hit that like button. It helps me out more than y'all know. Hitting that like button, man, with the algorithm and all that stuff. But hope y'all have a good rest of y'all day. I'm turned up. Sounds like it's gonna be good, man. But it's D Lord. I'm see y'all next time. Peace.